Ah, all right, come on in. Man, let me pull this. Let me just pull this up real quick, man. I just want to talk real quick. I got some time. Let me see. Let's adjust that. All right, come on in. Come on in. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it real quick. I'm gonna do a quick live stream, man, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm scrolling. I'm just seeing all this stuff taking place right now. And a lot of it is just news, but a lot of people aren't really able to correlate the events to action that they need to be taken. So I'm here in Dallas, Texas right now for the At Cost Motors event. And I said, let me go live really quickly because I have to talk about this stuff and really help people connect the dots on things that they should be doing, because there's problems going on in the global economy, the monetary system, but there's also solutions that are taking place right now. There are options and things that you need to be doing, okay? And things are accelerating at solutions that are taking place right now. There are options and things that you need to be doing, okay? And things are accelerating at a faster and faster pace, almost exponentially. What we're seeing here, the crisis that's taking place. You said, no, we in bankruptcy. Now, this is the thing about bankruptcy, right? I pulled this up because understand something. The United States can print as much money as they need. We will never default on the debt, but that doesn't mean that the purchasing power of the United States dollar will maintain. It's not so much about the debt and the rising debt levels and the potential that the U.S. will default on the debt, because the fact is that the United States will never default on its debt, because the Federal Reserve can implement emergency monetary policy at any time and create value from nothing and print trillions, quadrillions, centillions. They can print whatever amount of money is needed to pay the debt, right? But the problem is the purchasing power of those dollars. So this is the real crisis that's really being had. But the rising debt level is an indication of the further decline of the purchasing power of the dollar, which affects your ability to maintain your standard of living, which affects your ability to provide for yourself and your families moving forward. That is the real crisis. The crisis is the purchasing power of the dollar and your ability to be able to maintain your standard of living. That's what most people don't understand. The Federal Reserve can always print money. They can just print value from nothing. Okay? That's what we're going to continue to see. They're going to continue to devalue the purchasing power of the dollar. That's a guarantee. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because if they ever stop creating money, which you have to understand, the creation of money is the creation of debt. Let me say that one more time and smash that like button, because I'm dropping some gems. I'm dropping some knowledge. I'm helping things make sense for you. The creation of money is the creation of debt, because debt is money. The Federal Reserve note is not money. The Federal Reserve note is debt. But you call the debt money. Now, every time they create debt, they create money, and then there's interest on top of that. That's right, debt equals money. So understand something, that the Federal Reserve product, the Federal Reserve as an institution, their product is debt. That's their product. So they can create as much of that product as needed, as far out and as imaginable as you can think of. Whatever amount they can create, because that's their product. So their product is debt, which you call money, and they can create as much of that product as they want. There is no limit to the amount of their product, which is debt, which you call money, that they can create, then that they charge interest on. The crisis is what is the purchasing power of that debt, which you call money, right? The crisis is the world no longer deciding to use that product, that debt, what you call money, to do global trade and transactions across the globe. Okay? So now the question is, what should you be doing? Because we know there's a crisis, but there's also a solution and there's an opportunity. And what we're seeing right now It's silver. Silver just broke to $33 an ounce. Okay, and then the paper contracts came in and smacked it down. It's back to about 32. But let me pull this up. Let me show you this. Where is this at? Right here. Let me see if I got a better picture of it. No, let me see. You might not be able to see that up top, but silver, let me see, I'll put it up in here. This was a better one maybe. Well, silver has gained 30, I'm gonna take a better screenshot of it, and I'll have to come back live with it. But silver gained 30% in the last year. When I did my last live streams, I was helping people understand that silver is doing 14% year over year, okay, for the last 20 years. Gold has did about 10% year over year for the last 20 years. Gold and silver is real money. Understand that. I think I saw a guest request. Somebody wanted to come live with me? No, guess not. So understand something. And this is what people don't really understand. They don't correlate that debt equals money, right? Here's something else I pulled up. Obviously, debt is exploding right now. And this is the jobs report just came out. And we see that the markets are responding favorably to the job report. Understand something. The jobs report is a fraud. This economy is rigged and we're at war. Okay, the world is at war, so you cannot trust anything that you're seeing. It's all propaganda. You either know or you don't. Okay, because you're going to be misled with every direction. They don't want you to really know what's going on, and you're only going to know unless you already know. And if you don't know by now, you're going to be hit with so many different conflicting, confusing, misdirection articles. Up is down, down is up. A good report on the economy affects the market negatively. A bad report affects it positively. Nothing's going to make sense unless you already just understand how this debt-based model works, how this system works, right? So the jobs numbers, we should have known that we can't trust the jobs numbers. They said in earlier this year that we created over 800,000 jobs, and then they came out and said, oh, that was a lie. Or, we have to change the numbers. We misspoke or whatever it was. So I don't trust anything that they say at this point. I don't know why that they can continue to lie to us and they can continue to expose themselves. And yet we continue to believe the next thing that they say. So the jobs report came out. You trust those jobs reports numbers? Do you know how many times they've manipulated and changed the metrics, the dynamics and way they calculate to provide these values to give us an idea of what the economy is doing? The real economy versus the stock market is two separate things. The stock market is an illusion. It's an illusion, okay? It is literally used to manipulate the mindset and emotion of the people to give them a false reality of how the economy is doing, okay? But the economy is fucked up. It's not good. And most people need to understand that. Now, it's gold and silver that's real money. It's gold and silver that's God's money. I'm going to get these bots out of here. Somebody wanted to come live. Who's that? Let me see what this guy, the country is something. I'm going to get this bot up out of here. Talking about gold is an illusion. I don't know how gold is an illusion. I'm going to get that bot out of there real quick. Give me a second. Got these bots, man. The Conscious Mo 28. What's going on? Questions or comments?
No, what you're saying is right, man. I mean, when they came out with that job report, they said, oh, this numbers was created. Then they said, oh, those jobs are government jobs. Then they said, oh, that's a lie. So it's like they don't know what they're talking about. So it's like an all lie. What people do not realize is right now is Swift is working heavily with Ripple, even though the case is getting appealed by the SEC. And that's all nothing but theater and distraction. Because you really think about it, Gary Gensler is best friends with Rosie Rios. She was a treasurer for Obama, and she sits on the board of Ripple, So her job was to move into the new economy, which is digital, which is crypto. That's what she said. I remember she said the train left the station. So
Right.
if people are not getting it, they're going to find out 2030, because what's going to happen is you're either going to be part of the working 1%, a wealthy invest 1% or working 99%. So you get to either pick which side you want. And this is the greatest opportunity, the greatest time to be alive right now. And people are not awake. And I tell people, that's the people who don't trust crypto. I'm like, okay, fine, you don't trust crypto. That's your new monetary system. You're going to use it whether you like it or not. Number two, buy silver and gold. Silver is going to outpace gold in the future. What do you call BlackRock is talking about it. And people don't pay attention to BlackRock. Like, you got to pay attention to BlackRock, all the Swift, the ISO. Most people pay attention to the Diddy and all this distraction. Like
Right.
Diddy don't care about you. He's getting paid to distract you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right, brother. You're right. 100%. And that's all part of design right now. All this stuff is we're seeing as a distraction. And yeah, they're lying about the jobs numbers. You can't trust anything they say. You know, I woke up really strong in 2008 when we saw the financial crisis, and we saw that they bailed out the banks and the institutions, and it was Main Street that got the short end of the stick. You know, and they lied then. You know, they had the credit rating agencies say that the mortgage-backed securities were AAA rated. I mean, they lied all up and down the chain of command. So I don't know why people continue to believe them. And obviously, they just came back and redacted the jobs report last time. But you're 100% right. You know, I tell people all the time, XRP is the most undervalued digital asset on the planet. XRP, in my opinion, is the most undervalued digital asset on the planet. And physical silver is the most undervalued physical asset on the planet. And there is no fixing it. Somebody said, how do we fix it? Well, at this point in time, you have to prepare, because it can go either way, but you have to prepare. You can't worry. I'm gonna say it like this. The most important economy is your own economy. Forget what's going on with the US economy and globally. What's going on with your economy, your ability to protect you and yourself and your family, your ability to hedge against financial crisis and inflation, your ability to provide, for yourself in the future, right? So what's going on in your economy? Do you have XRP? Do you have physical silver and gold? Do you have, streams of income, right? That's what it's really coming down to. Because how do we save? How do we fix this? As on an individual basis. Most people think, how do you change the government? It's not when you go vote for the president. You start locally. You start in your communities. You start in your town, in your city, your district. You start in your state, right? That's where you start. And then it works outward. But for too many people think you can change the system from just voting for the president. No, it starts locally. And same thing with your own solution in your own economy. It starts with you. And as we collectively come together and we enrich and empower, and put ourselves in better position, we're putting the nation in better position, because we can't no longer continue to be deceived, manipulated, hoodwinked, right? And so that's why information like this is powerful. Go ahead, brother. You want to say something?
Facts. People think whether was it Trump or Kamala gets in. I'm like, it doesn't matter who gets in. They're both puppets. They're gonna roll with the program. They're already being told, listen, crypto's here to stay. And it's like people, they don't understand that. Like when you look at right now, Trump, I mean, what do you call it? He was accepting XRP as a payment. I mean, for donation a while back, he's super pro crypto. Kamala Harris, she's not pro crypto, but whether you like it or not, the crypto is still here, But she wants to bring in CBDC. And people do not know what CBDC is. Central Bank Digital Currency, which basically, if people do not know what that is, I'm going to give you a hint. You remember what happened in Canada with the truckers when they basically freeze their bank account? Basically, that's what CBDC is. They control your money. They control everything. So that's what they want, CBDC. And the people who don't have their own crypto or no assets, they're going to be in CBDC, which is, Elon always talks about it, universal basic income. And the people are not paying attention, man.
Yeah, they don't have, this is the thing. If you don't start to get serious about taking control of your life, your financial future, your stability, you're leaving that to these other people who don't really care about you. They're not putting in anything with your consideration. So yes, universal basic income, central bank digital currency, social credit score. I mean, you're going to be tracked and traced like a product. They've already treated you like a product through your social and birth certificate, and they've securitized you. And now they want to tokenize you on the blockchain, get your biometrics. They're going to replace you with AI and robotics. That's what the strike was about, automation, okay? And that's going to continue. That's where they're moving towards. And so they've already taken away money out of the system, because once again, what I was saying earlier, there is no money in circulation right now. That's what people don't understand. Right now, there's only debt circulating, and that debt is rising and the dollar is losing value. Now, those of us who got real money, physical silver and gold, digital assets, right? Because the Constitution of the United States, it's gold and silver, that's legal tender. Gold and silver under the Constitution, we're returning, and we need to return back to the Constitution and respect our Bill of Rights. And these people who take office need to respect that oath, and they need to have term limits. But also, gold and silver is God's money. These are biblical times that we're living in. Whether you believe it or not, if you read the books and you see the times that we're living in, they correlate. And understand something, that gold and silver is God's money. It's mentioned from Genesis to Revelations. Gold and silver has been money since the times of Egypt. It's money in Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas. Gold and silver have been the underpinning of the global financial system the whole time. We've just been living in a twilight zone. We've been living in this, like, Wizard of Oz type of scenario, and it's not real for the last, 100 years or so, where, well, since 71, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, but that was the whole plan with the Federal Reserve in 1913 inception anyway, which was to enslave the world through debt and interest. And now we're seeing the peak of that. So they've successfully enslaved the world through debt and interest. Now there's a reset. It has reached its peak. There has to be a transition. It cannot expand any further. The system is breaking under its own weight. The house of cards is collapsing. So that's why it's a massive opportunity, because if you hold on to the assets that are all this paper money is going to chase, okay, the real value, the finite resources, all this paper money, all this debt is going to chase that. And that, because it's finite, because it's real, because it has use case in the real world, the value of it in terms of dollars is going to skyrocket. And when you realize the massive rigging and manipulation that they have done for decades in the precious metal markets, especially with physical silver, it still blows my mind today that physical, silver is still at around 30 some dollars, $32, $33 on the spot market, not even near its all-time high. And we've had massive inflation, massive money printing. We've seen even gold hitting all-time high, debt hitting all-time high. I mean, just everything. In pandemic, everything. Silver still almost 50% off from its all-time high. Major opportunity. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, when I was in 2023 Africa, what was it? Basically, XRP, XLM building it. Same thing with South America. Like, XLM is very underrated. I'm talking about, what is it right now, 10 cents?
Yeah, I
People
mean,
don't understand XRP and XLM.
pennies is crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
XRP and XLM is the only cross-border payments, And people don't understand when the ISO was created, and basically what happened was the Federal Reserve was like, we need faster payments. And that's when they created the ISO. And the first ISO was XRP, number two was XLM. You know what I mean? So people don't understand, like, why those two are cross-border payment, but also very fast. And right now, when you look at it, people don't understand that when you get paid, how it takes, 2 weeks? Because they don't have the liquidity or that like that. But once this goes in, like XRP with the Ripple blockchain, it's going to be very quick. Went to like 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds, Ripple. And XLM is like 1 second. So you're going to have that your money on that day, daily, basically, instead of waiting 2 weeks or a week. And another one that's pretty good is XDZ is good. But another one that's right now was under 2 cents or 3 cents, DAG. It's partnered with a lot of military stuff.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's what people don't understand, that, everything is going to be tokenized. So understand that even a gold is tokenized on XRPL right now. Everything is getting tokenized. So everything is going to be on the blockchain, literally everything. And when you understand that, then you understand the massive opportunity for you to be able to be in the space before that full transition take place, and the massive gains and appreciation and wealth creation, because you got in early. And that's why people are trying to explain to people, it doesn't matter that Gary Gensler and them are suing or want to appeal. We know where this is going. See, that's a distraction. That's the illusion. That's the diversion. That's the trick. That's look over here and don't really realize what's going on over here. The tens of millions of dollars that are being minted in the RLUSD. Don't pay attention to all the contracts and partnerships that Ripple has, and all the developments and things that are taking place behind the scenes. No, get flooded out because the price is low, and because the SEC wants to rig, people's perception of it by filing frivolous lawsuits, right? And so that's what people just don't understand. And that opportunity is not going to be here forever. I mean, it's mind blowing to be able to get these digital assets at pennies. These ISO tokens, and these things that have real world utility, real world use case. I mean, even I think it was in California, they put everybody's titles on which blockchain was that?
Avalanche.
Yeah, on Avalanche's blockchain. I mean, so blockchain, what people have to understand is that, the blockchain, and then there's layers to the blockchain, right? And so blockchain is going to revolutionize and change the way everything is done. Voting will be done on the blockchain. We won't have to worry about rigging of elections. We won't have to worry about any of that because of the transparency, because of the security, because of the validation, the speed, because of what blockchain provides. It's a trustless system. We no longer have to trust the humans are going to vote, count the votes right. We don't have to longer trust that a company that creates a program hasn't put a back door in there where they can manipulate the results. We don't have to worry about any of that. With smart contracts and blockchain, it's going to change everything. Every area, every category of human activity that you can think of will be revolutionized because of the blockchain. That's how powerful this is. The blockchain is like fire, to humanity. It's like the discovery of oil or the engine or the wheel. Blockchain is going to change the way the world. AI is huge and all that, but I'm just telling you, blockchain is going to change everything. And that's what people don't understand. That's why you want to get in early. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, you got AI, crypto, AI, metaverse, another big thing. Like people are sleeping on the metaverse. Like for example, like Meta, which is Facebook. I'm talking about Mark Zuckerberg, what he said a while back ago. You said, you're going to sleep in the metaverse, live in the metaverse. So the metaverse is going to be worth a lot. Whether they're crypto, whether I think the meta stocks, it's it's going to be worth a lot. But the thing is, like Larry Fink said, everything's going to be tokenized. And you look at, I think gold and silver, isn't it also tokenized by LCX, I think? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's tokenized it. Yeah. It's on the blockchain.
So, everybody's now, a lot of people are like 5% right now, they said, what was it, 5% of the population, world population is in crypto, that's it. That's crazy, 5% of the world population.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think I haven't checked the last time. I think it was like 20% of the US is in it. You know what I mean? I haven't checked the most recent data on there, but it's still massive opportunity, a massive timing, to get into this space. So, it's the only, and thank God for like social media, because without X, without, TikTok, and, certain social media platforms, a lot of people would just be missing out. I don't know how they would get this information because there are people like us who are giving this information and helping people connect the dots for free on TikTok. I tell people if you want to get physical silver and gold, go to At Cost Metals, and that's an affiliate program, and I get paid to help people get physical silver and gold. But essentially, most people who are on here sharing information, they're getting it for free. They're giving it out for free because they just want to help humanity. But it's important that people understand you have to get physical silver, especially. Gold is at an all-time high, and gold is good to have, but physical silver is the much better value. It's much more opportunity to get physical silver. You could get Bitcoin, but Bitcoin to me is not the best opportunity to get into right now. I think people should get into, like he said, XRP, XLM, a lot of these ISO tokens. If Bitcoin goes to 120, I should say when Bitcoin goes to $120,000, that's like a 2x on your money. Here we have XRP at 53 cents. And all-time high before the SEC came in, and 2017 was like $3 or something. What are we talking about here? To go from 50 cents to $3, and it's going much higher than that. It's like a coil. They have suppressed for years on years and years. That once the suppression stops, it's going to take off like a rocket ship. You won't even be able to chart it. And that's the same thing with silver. They've been manipulating and suppressing with the derivatives, with the shorts and naked short selling. And now with Basel III, people don't understand. The banks have to have this liquidity. They have to have the money. Banks under Basel III have to have physical gold, not paper contract gold, not ETF gold, not certificate gold, none of that paper stuff. We're getting away from paper. We're getting away from the illusion. They're going to where banks have to have, and that's why we're seeing the crisis with banks right now. Bank of America and other stuff we're seeing is because the Basel III requirements are kicking into effect, and these banks are over levered. They're over levered, that massive unrealized losses, derivatives, and they've been, have all these paper contracts and everything else, but now they're required to have physical gold to back up all these loans, and they don't have it. But understand something, that's going to create a significant price increase for gold because they need the actual metal. So it's a huge opportunity. And I'm just big on diversifying. You know, I remember I mean, everybody remembers what happened during with CrowdStrike, right? And
Hmm.
how government, websites went down. Everybody's probably familiar that, knows that they control the internet. You know, the government, the executive orders, they can control the internet. There's a lot of, liabilities, third party counter risk or risk and exposure to just being only in digital assets. That's why I'm on here saying you got to have physical, because there's no third party counter risk to the physical. I think with the digital, the only third party counter risk, if I'm thinking properly, would be your ability to access the internet. Your ability to access, and if we're in a wartime, and the technology that they have today, they're saying EMPs, they're saying cyber attack, grid down situation, your ability to access your digital assets, that could be a liability. But one thing about physical, there's nothing new under the sun. Since the times that we've seen war, we've seen regime change, we've seen pandemics, we've seen everything. Gold and silver will always have value, and that's the thing that people have to consider. Just diversifying it and getting in the physical, and the digital.
Another thing is like the WEF, the World Economic Forum. I mean, they give out the answer. They made a document 2021. It's called basically WEF getting started in crypto, and basically it's like a 18-page, and they give the answers to which cryptos are like high value. Like for example,
Hmm.
page 17. I remember seeing it. It was Solana was on there, XRP of course, XLM, Algorand. What else was it? Cardano.
And you said that was where?
The World Economic Forum. It's called. You can look it up on. You can
So they
Google it.
break
It's called
down, and they're gonna break down blockchains and the
Yep,
blockchains that they
blockchain.
agree.
Yep, they break down the definition of blockchain, Bitcoin. Basically, they said Bitcoin is kind of like. Basically, they said Bitcoin is gold, store of value. Then they
Mm,
said XRP is like
yep,
the currency, XLM,
yep.
and it's called W. I'll put it on the chat. It's basically WEF
Yeah,
getting started in crypto.
put in the chat for Chenko.
Yeah.
Chenko, yeah, because this is the thing too. Like, luckily, you have people on here who would just give you the information, but the information really, for you to overstand, for you to understand what we're talking about, so it can hit you in a way that maybe us just saying it won't. You have to do that due diligence. We understand what we understand because we did the research. We read the papers. We watched the videos. We got the information. You have to make sure that you take your time to actually read and learn about this stuff, and not just hope that you can get everything from somebody on TikTok sharing the information with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, you're welcome. But it's important that people understand how the blockchain works, the layers to the blockchain, and the how disruptive that is to industry, you know. Um, but yeah, bro, that was man. We just dropped a whole lot of juice for the folks, man. That was fire. Anything else you want to say?
I mean, besides that, also when you look at, I seen a while back a document with the BIS, the Bank of Settlement, and the IMF. The BIS, I remember the three crypto they mentioned it was XRP, XLM, and Algorand. Algorand is very underrated. Algorand is very fast, very cheap. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, Algorand has its own commercial where basically Algorand basically humiliates Bitcoin and Ethereum because Ethereum has all those gas fees and Bitcoin is very slow. But Algorand, their commercial was very fast. The guy, they were in line negotiate. And the
yeah.
one guy was like, let me use Ethereum. And the lady was like, yeah, gas fees. And it's slow. The other guy, Bitcoin, he waited, what was it, 8 hours, 10 hours or whatever. And the other guy in Algorand was cutting the line, beep, one time. Got everything he needed and paid. Because Algorand is very fast and cheap, just like XRP, XLM. So it's like,
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember, something that Trump actually was at a pub or something, and he paid for something in Bitcoin. The first U.S. president to pay for Bitcoin. Obviously that was a historic moment. But what they didn't tell you that it was expensive and slow. It was a slow transaction, and it was expensive, and and that's what people, like you're talking about, people don't really understand. These other blockchains, and the speed and the efficiency, right, that they have. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the ISO. I think the whole space is going to take off. You talked about metaverse, and people don't really understand, NFTs. I mean, houses are being sold as NFTs, music, collectors items, things in the real world will be sold as NFTs. It's not just JPEG images. So it's really, it's huge what's taking place right now. It's just huge, and as time goes on, these assets are going to be increase in value. the dollar is going to continue to lose value, and you just want to make sure you have enough of it. You just want to continue the dollar cost average and hold, and hold because we're getting close. I see silver breaking its all-time high in 2025. I
Facts.
see, yeah, I see XRP breaking its all-time high in 2025. Um, the events that we're seeing globally are accelerating at a rate that people just can't imagine. And as the fire burns even brighter and hotter and farther, you're going to see more people rush to the exits as they try to get out of this burning house. This United States dollar, this weaponized dollar fiat system. You're going to see an exponential run away from the dollar. It's not going to be slow. It's going to be very fast once it really starts to take place because people are going to panic. And then once one person goes to the door, other people start seeing people running to the door, and it's going to start a frenzy. And we're seeing that right now with de-dollarization. That's why I have this up. The dollar has the world reserve currency, but it won't forever. It won't
Nope.
forever. And we're seeing a decline in its reserve currency status around the globe. And we have BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other countries right now that are, dumping dollars, buying, gold, getting ready, like you said, CBD, backing it by gold, blockchain. The dollar's days are numbered. And the problem is that, people here in America are relying on the US dollar. They have it in their retirement accounts. They value their wealth in dollars, and they don't understand that the dollar is not a unit of wealth. The dollar is a note. It's a unit of debt. It's not money. And that's the education process. And once they understand that, that should force them to realize that, hey, I need to actually get into blockchain and crypto for my investments, but I also need to be saving my money in physical silver and gold. But yeah,
You
the
know
dollar
the
days are numbered.
the
Yeah.
BRICS, they're meeting up this month, the 22nd. I'm gonna be paying attention to that. Yeah, this month, 22nd,
Oh
big
yeah,
meeting.
I think that's going to be huge. That BRICS meeting is going to be huge because, especially what's going on. I mean, it's what's going on in with the war right now in Israel. The world is aligning against the Western powers because they're supporting this. What's going on over there with this war, and then also obviously we just gave billions of dollars to continue the war in Ukraine and other places, and then you see here in the United States they don't even have money for their own people. FEMA's out of money. I mean, it's crazy. And yet, when I look and I'm seeing polls that are saying Trump and Kamala are tied in the polls, I'm like, where are they polling? Where are they getting this information from? Because I don't know how anybody can vote for this administration when they've given all the money away to people who haven't contributed to the system, and
She
yet they
came
have
out.
nothing left for the people.
She came out. This is crazy. She came out. Yes, was it yesterday, or the day before that? She said, "Oh, I got $750 for people,
That's
but
it.
you gotta apply." She said you gotta apply and qualify. $750. What am I supposed to do with that? You can't even buy diapers with that, with inflation being 25% or higher. Like, come on. But she said
It's crazy.
Israel, not Israel, another 9 billion, and Ukraine another 8 billion, Taiwan 1 billion. It's a joke.
Hey,
Yeah. It is a joke. I was surprised. I got you, Truth. Hold on one second. I was surprised myself when I seen that because that's just it's an insult. It's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face. What the hell is 700? I mean, why would you even get in front of the cameras and even offer that? You better off just saying nothing. Like that was just. This has got to be like it's not real. It's unbelievable that they would offer $750. I was mind blown. I don't see how anybody votes for her in this election. It's crazy. I mean, I don't care how much you hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump went down there and he was able to raise money and he was able to provide some goods. He was down there before Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was down there. He's looking way more presidential as a leadership than anything that they're doing. It's mind blowing. But go ahead, Truth. What's going on?
yeah, I was gonna say that in North Carolina, a lot of bad things are happening. I know a lot of people are going through hard times and stuff, and our government is non-existent. you
Right,
know.
right.
So I was thinking, we have two choices. Well, actually, three choices. You're gonna have to either leave the U.S. to live a better life. You're gonna stay here and fight, or you're gonna have to do better. Such as trading, right? This is a crypto chat. You're talking to me about bricks. You know, BRICS nations is right. You know, American dollar is petrodollar. Everything is the premise that everyone will buy the oil with U.S. dollars, right? That's the petrodollar. What happens when everybody moves away from that and go to BRICS? The petrodollar is dead. So people are starting to slowly move to cryptocurrencies, but this is all planned out. So when we start talking about XRP, XLM, XDC, this is the future plan. This is where this quantum financial system is going. Yes. Uh, but as far as the people that don't have much money yet, and you really want a meme coin that you could trust, I just want to help people out. You know, I got into a meme coin with a group of 200,000 people, right? It's MPCS. It was down at 0.003, right? It's up to about a penny now. It's probably gonna hit $1 billion market cap. You guys should probably get in it.
I agree.
I'm not trying to sell any meme
The one
coins.
thing that you were saying was true about that the oil, right? You know, Saudi Arabia has already they have not renewed the contract for the U.S. dollar to be bought
Yes, I
only
know that.
for oil to only be bought in dollars, and so you're
I know
100%
that.
correct on that. Hold on, somebody's calling me. I'll call him back. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct on that. That the United States dollar has lost its the OPEC dollar is no more. You know, the OPEC dollar is no more. Other countries around the world are looking to de-dollarize and use other currencies. So you're 100% correct on that.
Yeah. And what happens? You know, eventually people are gonna move away from the dollar to buy oil because most U.S. doesn't even produce oil, but
Well,
we
no,
need
we
to
got
trade
U.S.
oil in dollars.
We have the largest oil reserves under
We
Joe
do.
Biden. Though we
We
have
shut it down,
been
right?
we've been depleting our oil reserves, our strategic oil reserves here. That's how they've been able to maintain the gas prices so low. But yeah, what we're seeing is the house of cards. You know, the rigging, the corruption. It's all coming to an end. Everything is being exposed right now, and that's why it's just important, like you said, that people understand how to get into blockchain, how to get into cryptocurrencies. You know, these undervalued digital assets, and how to start really saving their money and acquiring physical silver and gold. Um, I see God's gift came up. I just want to see what he had to say. Any questions or comments, brother?
Yeah, what's going on? So I'm thinking like you don't think BRICS could start a war with America? You don't think that's possible?
Well, BRICS was formed as an alliance against the America and the U.S. dollar as an economic war. You see
Right.
that
Well, okay, I said that wrong. Not BRICS, but the people that's a part of BRICS, like Brazil, Russia. You know.
this is an economic war that we're facing right now. The war is not only physical. There are different manifestations of war, and so what we're seeing is currency war.
Yeah,
We're seeing a monetary war going on right now, and that's what BRICS is. It's
I'm
an
thinking they can
alliance.
get physical is what I'm saying.
We're already at physical war. It's already physical. It's just that they're using the proxy of Ukraine. You know, they got their the dog is off the well, I don't even know if it was is who's the dog here. If Israel is a dog or the United States is a dog. But it's off the leash, it's unchained. And we're seeing destabilization happen, you know, all over the place. You know, even in Africa, there's war. You know, and France and all these other countries are losing their grip over these African nations, exploiting them for their resources and minerals. You know, immigration is a form of war. You know, there's a lot of ways that war is already being taking place right now. But yes, that's what BRICS is for. And it wouldn't be if what you're asking is it wouldn't be BRICS that goes to war with the G7 nations. What we're looking at is the G7 nations going to war with BRICS. And the reason we will see that is because the G7 nations are in a decline economically. That means they're losing their power. And because they're losing their power and influence, the next thing they want to do is take you to war. And so that's why you see Europe wanting to go to war with Russia, because Russia is an economic and military power. And Europe, part of the G7 nations, they're declining in their power and economic power, especially with they've lost an ability to control Africa and their massive debt and, you know, rigging of the system. All that's coming to an end. But make no mistake, yeah, we are at war, and that's why you want to tell people to
But
hedge against that. Yeah.
okay, I say that because physical war is the way that America keeps their position and keep their dollar strong by forcing poverty and forcing more. You need in America. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna force you to need me. And so it's like if America's bullies. So do you think it could be a repeat of history of physical war? Do you think people would actually start to literally bomb like here in America? Like I'm thinking that's where stuff might be headed towards because the money is a big situation.
Well, the thing is here in America, we still have the strongest military in the world. We still have technologies that we haven't even released to the world. All type of weapons that they're building
Correct.
underground that are classified. They got technologies that people just they think it's UFO type stuff, and it's really the government that has it. They've been working on this stuff for over 50 years. You have
I
no
believe
idea
it.
what they have. So, United States, as far as the military, and here in the United States, but there are some that we do have enemies that are domestic, just as well as we have enemies that are foreign. And so there could be some type of event here in the United States. I'm not outruling that, but our military shouldn't be questioned. Anybody be crazy, to be go to war, with the United States in that capacity. But how we're going to lose is the dollar. That's why they're attacking us on the financial side, because that's our weak point. The money. You see, the money is what allows this whole war to continue. Because the Federal Reserve product is debt, and they just print more debt, and they fund these wars just like they just did now. It can continue and continue. So you have to attack it at the monetary system. You have to attack it at its Achilles heel. And that's what it is right now. If the world dumps the dollar, dump treasuries, the dollar has no value. We don't have money to go to war in the way that we do. And if the world only takes gold, if the world is only taking another form of payment outside of the dollar, then the United States has to have that. And they can't have that in infinity or just make it up as much as they want as they could with paper. So that's why, yes, the world is at war against the US dollar through BRICS and other forms of payment with digital and physical assets.
Well, if you look at first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to come on and give my commentary.
Yes, sir.
Uh, if you look at last night's Simpson episode, the reset, they had XRP and XLM. I've been new about the XLM. I was looking at article from the front cover of the Economist magazine, 1988. They printed on there. So everything that they do is already pre-planned, including all world wars and all of these things. So there's going to be a financial reset. The United States is going to go to XRP, XLM, XDC, and all of the digital assets is going to rule. And the powers that be are behind who prompt the presidents up, put them in position, are behind all of this. Well, what we need to do as a people, though, we need to stop playing into all of these things that's going on with these so-called government, this corporation. We need to unplug, because the definition of insanity is keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again. Keep on believing that the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, all these people are in our interest. No, they're in the interest of the people that control the system. And so we got to do our own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. We definitely gotta wake up and realize that, it's two parties leading us in the same direction. I do think one party is better than the other. But what we have here is a currency crisis. And no matter who gets in office, if they're calling for lower rates, if their solution is just to print more dollars, that's going to continue to steal from the purchasing power of dollars in circulation. It's going to continue to have the dollar lose its status and credibility around the world. But this is why I think Trump is trying to tell people what to do without telling them. He's
Well,
telling
this,
you he's telling you to get Bitcoin and crypto by making payments in Bitcoin. He
well,
came
this
out
is,
he came
this
out with
is,
his hold on, brother. He came out with his own silver coin that he just released. And then he also we've seen before he was president, he knows that gold is money. And so, he's trying to tell people, I think subliminally that you want to get into blockchain digital assets and get physical silver and gold. But yeah, the house of cards is coming to an end, and it's important that we stay informed and help as many people as we can get informed. But I'm gonna let you speak, but smash that like button, y'all, while y'all in this live chat. Y'all here for a reason. Obviously there's some value being given. Smash that like button. Go ahead, brother.
well, this thing has already been written, and it's been written
Right. Go.
decades ago. This
Yeah.
was written decades ago that the new currency would be XRP and XLM,
And
and
backed by gold.
for the records of all the shipping records will be placed on XDC. So all of, and it's other cryptos that's 2000
I so yeah.
compliant, but it's this, listen, they foreplanned these things decades and hundreds of years before it even comes into effect. World War I, World War II, and World War III were placed on display at the British Museum before they even took place. All right. So these things, these events, we think that these events are events that take place out of the blue, but no, these things and events are uh, pre-planned already.
Right. No, you're 100% right, and I talk about this all the time, and you brought up a good article because in that Economist magazine, the 1988 edition, that's a Rothschild-owned magazine, and everybody should know the history of the Rothschilds and their role and everything that's been taking place right now. And that Rothschild-owned magazine, The Economist, in 1988, they show you fiat currency, paper money, burning underneath the feet of a phoenix bird. And out of that phoenix bird, around its neck, is a gold coin. And that gold coin has the XLM symbol in the middle of it. So we know that out of the death of this debt-based fiat monetary system, because that's what we're witnessing in real time. In real time, we are witnessing the death of a debt-based fiat monetary system. And out of that debt-based fiat monetary system, we're seeing the rise of a new monetary system that's backed by gold and digital assets. And and you're definitely right about the history. They've been planning this stuff since 1913, well before 1913. We're still witnessing the Revolutionary War take place. This has always been this is still slavery. This is history just repeating itself in a different form. This has always been about the few trying to control the many and manipulate their economic output and innovation. And that's what they've wanted to do to this country and this nation. But England wanted to control the innovation and wealth of this country. And they implemented the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, which should have never happened in this country. And they knew for a fact that if they could enslave this country through debt and interest, they didn't care who made the laws. JP Morgan said, we don't care who makes the laws as long as we control the monetary system. And they have figured it out. They got it done. That now they have enslaved this nation through debt. The debt is so bad that we don't even have money for our own people, but they print money up for the wars. And people are finding it harder and harder to maintain their standard of living. They're getting put out of their homes. The economy is in shambles. Their futures are not brighter than it was yesterday. But this was all a plan from the beginning. But they never anticipated us becoming aware of this plan. They never anticipated us becoming so informed, so enlightened, so conscious, so aware. And that's because of the internet and social media. And now that we are aware, they're finding it harder to control ourselves, to control us. I think it was Zbigniew Brzezinski said it was easier to kill 1 million people back in the day than to control them. And they said now today it's easier to control 1 million people than it is to kill 1 million people. And so, these are the dynamics that we're looking at. But you're 100% right, brother, on that. I do want to let blockchain monkeys get in here and have a comment or statement really quickly. Go ahead, brother.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good.
Both of y'all, man. I saw you here talking about this topic. I said you're exactly right, because I'm calling it like a slow kill. Like, they've been pruning us. They've been pulling from us forever. Just like you said, not knowing that we're gonna find out about it. But this internet thing and this research on these cryptocurrencies, it's kind of like they're in a race right now, but they can only go as fast as everybody, the world catching up to this technology. Because if they go too fast, it's not going to work. But and during that meantime, we're finding out about the stuff. We're finding out about the IMF and what they're doing with these currencies. We're finding out about these countries not caring about this lawsuit going over here with XRP, because they're still going to be using it and integrating it into their systems. So we have a great advantage right now. Just like we missed the internet, we're not going to miss this.
Right.
Well, I want to say to you, listen, Trump tells people all the time, but people think that Trump is slow and stupid. He tells people all the time, fake news, fake news, fake news. Listen to him. Believe him. He's telling you the truth. You think that he's just railing against the news media just for the sake of it, but he's telling you fake news. Yeah. It's the 99% of the news. Well, I can't put a number on it, but a high percentile of the news is fake. And Trump is telling you fake news. Yeah. But people not listening.
Yeah, you're right. Propaganda, CIA put out articles.
I seen this UCC. I seen this UCC one financing statement.
Hey,
I like the point that you brought up though, blockchain monkeys, is that they needed the people's consciousness to reach a certain level of awareness before they can actually come in and make the changes that need to be done. Because if they did it arbitrarily, before the people really understood what was going on, before this satanic system, these corrupt people can be exposed, the people have to see the corruption for themselves in real time so they can get behind the actual movement and change that needs to take place, because they knew this stuff for a long time. But if they just did it and the people weren't really understanding what they were doing, the people would fight back against the people who are trying to free them, that are trying to expose the corruption. Yep. And so that time period needed to take place. That time where the man of perdition could be exposed and the people could be aware of who is against them, who is against the people. And that is they've been exposed. And Candace Owens is exposing the synagogue of Satan. She's exposing Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's getting exposed right now. The pedophile
from all angles too.
All angles. But we had to become aware first before the actual thing could take place, so we can get behind it and support it and actually bring in that new world. But if they did it too early and the people weren't ready, it wouldn't be successful. But we're at that critical mass point. We're reaching critical mass of consciousness. And this is a testament to it.
And they have to tell us.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, buddy. They have to tell us.
Just what I was finna touch on, brother. Just what I was finna touch on.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button if y'all in this live stream, man. We should be having 10,000 likes already. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother Lloyd. You about to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with blockchain. Okay, I was just agreeing with blockchain. He can go on ahead and let him expound on it.
Yeah, they have one of their laws is they have to tell us, not like right in our face, but subliminally in some type of way. So when they do go down, they can say, "Hey, we told you. We put it here. We put it in the fine print on page 573. You didn't see it."
Well, the galactic, we have a people, see, I don't talk to a lot of people because they're going to think I'm crazy. They're going to say you're a conspiracy theorist and all this. See, we have what we call a galactic federation. All right. We have other beings that's in existence throughout the galaxies, and they have a council, and the Galactic Federation have set forth rules. And one of the rules is non-interference, and they can't interfere with our free will. So therefore, they have to tell us in whatever way they tell us, whether it's through satire, uh, through cartoons, or whatever. And people think it's fake, but they tell you. And if you don't resist it when they tell you, then they implement it. They're not violating Galactic Federation rules of non-interference, and so then they can go ahead and implement it, and they're not subject to karmatic debt.
There you go. And just like in the courtroom, they'll say, "Do you understand?" And you're supposed to say, "No, I don't stand under anything."
Yeah, no, that's 100%
Because
right.
that would be consent. That would be consenting.
Yeah, no, and we're right about that, and that's the thing that what's taking place right now, and that's why you say don't acquiesce. We can't just go
There you
along
go.
with whatever solutions that they're putting out, whatever they're telling you, because we already know now. We have the history. You see, before we couldn't so easily go back in history and really see what has taken place and how we've gotten here, and what to do. But now, because of where we are consciously, and because the access that we have to information, and then just the network now, like you brother said, before we couldn't get to talk to people who understood what we understand because our friends and family don't speak this language. Like you said, they call us. They focused on everything else besides the real things that we focused on, and they call us conspiracy theorists and all these other things. But over the last 10, 20 years, we realized that a lot of this conspiracy theory has been conspiracy truth.
Yep.
and they've been trying to get off people who've been talking about the Alex Jones, the Andrew Tate.
Yep. That's how I first started finding out about this stuff.
They took them, and Alex Jones been talking about this stuff for years, decades. Bohemian Grove, all of them, and he's been right the whole time.
Everybody who's tuned in, please go and on YouTube and check out Alex Jones interview with Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Ooh,
that's right.
Okay.
Alex Jones interviewed Minister Louis Farrakhan, and they had an open and warm dialogue. No blasting each other. It was free, and both of them, it was a great interview. Alex Jones interviews Minister Farrakhan on YouTube.
Yeah, I see that.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan been exposing these corrupt individuals, this corrupt financial system for decades now, and everything that he's been saying is coming true. And yes, don't get caught up in this race war that they want to create between black and white. Okay, because right now the enemy of our enemy is our friend, and even though there are some challenges that as communities that we have a greater enemy in kind, and that's how they're trying to divide and conquer us right now.
There you go. That's
let me say to you, man. There's been times, there were times in my life where I was incarcerated.
Same here, brother.
And I had cellmates who were skinheads and Aryans. And I sat down and we broke bread and had conversation with each other. And at the end of the day, where we disagreed, but we had open dialogue and mutual respect for each other. Hey, people call Trump a racist. He plays to the demographics of people, voters who are of all types, and these people out here who got their beliefs in separation and all that. Hey, if that's what you want to believe and that's what you want to stand on, then I'm having no problem with that. Because I have the equal opportunity to do the same thing. So I'm not hating on anybody because of that belief. In this country, you have the right to freedom of expression, freedom of culture under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. So, hey, if people want to be skinheads, if people want to be Aryan, if people want to be Klan members, be that. As long as you don't bring violence. As long as
they can know who the enemy is, right?
As long as you don't bring violence to me. The worst person is the worst people to me is the people who look like you, who sleep in the same house you sleep in, and who you break bread with. Those are the worst enemies.
There you go.
And Kamala Harris is the enemy.
Yeah.
She's an open
1,000%.
enemy, and I see her. And Candace Owens has
She
pulled.
bust her ass.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Candace busted her ass, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead,
But
Blockchain. You want to add something? I heard you was getting in on based on what the brother was saying.
Oh no, you know what? I was saying about like being incarcerated. That's when I first started finding out about a whole lot of stuff. That's when I first read Jekyll's Island. That's when I first heard Alex Jones on the radio, because we was allowed to have the radio in there. And I first heard about him in there. After that, I was hooked.
Wow.
And you're just like, y'all, you can't speak to everybody about this. I be looking at some of my friends, some of my family, and all I can do is just shake my head. Because I know if I go to open my mouth on some shit, they ain't going to be receptive. They ain't even going to take it.
well,
What I mean?
they tried to destroy Alex Jones when he talked about the Sandy Hook
Yeah.
incident that took place. But they don't understand that you have crisis actors out here.
Yeah.
Crisis actors. You know, they go to a scene and
The
where
White House. Like they did at the White House.
yeah, they have crisis actors out here. I mean, look, Alex Jones has been a great asset to the revolution to
Yeah.
uplift and upgrade the knowledge of the people.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
don't
he did.
expect people like me and you to agree with Alex Jones, to even able to sit down with and have a conversation with people like Alex Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. He lit the spark, man. Alex Jones and certain documentaries. I remember watching Zeitgeist.
Oh, yep.
Yep, Zeitgeist came out, and then of course they was exposing a lot about the Iraq War, War for Sale, and you know it was an enlightenment period, but it takes time, because once again the people had to become conscious of what's going on, so that we don't participate in our own slavery, but we aid in the freeing up ourselves from slavery, from this mental slavery, from this corrupt financial system. And you know, it's a beautiful thing to see. You know, when we can get on a live stream like this, uninterrupted, and really understand what's been going on and share this information, because most people don't know it, they ain't heard of it. You know, and we're talking about these assets and blockchain and gold and silver, and these are conversations that just weren't had, that people just easily had access to. Open up an app, and you got a community of people who like understanding what you're saying and like, yeah, right on. You know, that's powerful.
But they are trying to co-opt and take over the internet. They trying to pass legislation so that brothers like us and people like us to have free communication with each other over these airs.
Oh, they don't like that. This is one of the things that they feared.
Yep, and the thing is like right now, somebody just put Fahrenheit 9/11. I remember that one, but for the longest time, people didn't know about Building 7. There was 3 towers that went down, and nobody talked about Building 7.
They didn't talk about it. Yep.
You know, and once again, this was stuff that people who were already conscious, who were already like exposed to the corruption of the system, were saying and seeing. And one thing about conscious people is once you become conscious about one area of the matrix, you generally will start to become conscious about other areas of the matrix. You'll begin to expose the other. So now we know the truth about healthcare, on the scam of the healthcare system and how it's really sick care. Now we're, these industries in every area of human health is being exposed.
And another thing we have to understand that people have to become conscious of. They are feeding us.
Yeah, bro.
That part.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that's the thing that this is because they knew that this time was coming. This has been planned, like you said, for a very long time, and they knew that there was going to be a time where we, the people, would wake up to their corruption, to who they are, to what they've been doing to us, and they knew that there was going to be hell to pay. So they tried to get ahead of it, and they tried to poison us. They tried to calcify our pineal glands with the fluoride in the water and the toothpaste.
There you go.
They put all the poison in the food to make us obese and unhealthy, so that we won't be able to. Look what they're doing to the
McDonald's food. I saw a couple ads. I mean, a couple news posts where they were putting human flesh inside of McDonald's food, grinding it up,
Yeah,
putting
yeah, I
in
saw
hamburger
that.
meat, and giving you a sign to let you know that it's in there.
I'm afraid. I'm not. I don't. I'm afraid to eat any meat. No, any meat. If it's not known a quantity, I'm not partaking in it.
That's the reason I stopped eating meat, man. About 5 years ago.
Yeah, health and wealth principles, man. Health and wealth. Those are the two most critical things. Health and
Let's go,
wealth. And
Preston.
I was listening to the brother Kanye when he broke out of his MK. One of the times when he broke
He
out of his
broke out of that
MK,
thing, didn't he? He broke
when
out
he
of that
broke
thing,
out,
didn't he?
yeah,
when he
he did.
broke out of his MK Ultra, the brother. I want people to go look at this interview, and they say he was on a rant. He was away was an interview. He was at his album release party, and he was having a listening session.
Oh, yep. I
And he
saw it.
said to the people, he said, I want y'all to listen to this, play this in school, then run it back, again. Teach the children this. He said, God rules the world. He said, under God, you have the 1,000-year-old families,
Yep.
the 13 bloodlines. Then under that,
Underneath
you
that.
have the Vatican. Then under that, under the Vatican, you have Putin and Biden, all the world leaders. Then under that, you have Hollywood, Rahm Emanuel, Ari Emanuel, Rahm Emanuel brother. Then under that, you have the financial system, BlackRock, State Street,
Woo.
Vanguard. Then under that, you have the military. So
Look
people
at the
think
layers,
that
man.
all of the world leaders are against each other. The world is a stage. There is no war. There is no war between beef between Vladimir Putin and Joe
Right.
Biden. They or Xi Jinping of China. They are not in tour with each other. All of these people sit down together under one leadership. The 13 bloodlines, Illuminati.
Yeah, and a lot of these wars were about central banks because they want
There it
to
is.
implement a central bank on every country. And there's about maybe, I think Iran doesn't have one. And there's a couple other countries. I think, yeah, there's a couple other countries that don't have a central bank. But yeah, you're right. When you follow
They
the
are
Rick Ross,
they are trying to pump us in with. Listen, they are trying to herd us, the global population, into one state of mind, one world government. And this is where also Project Bluebeam, we have to be careful about this evasion, this great reveal that's going to come take place. But they are all together, and they're going to scare us with shock and bombs and all, and then we are going to. They expect us to expect that we have to think that we got to come together under one world government because we are under attack and we have no other way to survive, and that's how they want to rule the world.
yeah, yeah, that's why it's important that this consciousness is shared because there are people who understand what we're saying, who feel what we're saying, but because they're isolated, that would limit their ability of belief and to take action. But this type of conversation should make you like, oh wait, I'm not crazy. Oh wait, there are people who see what I see. Oh wait, this is serious. Like, oh, let me go do something. Let me go get some organic, non-GMO heirloom seeds.
Seeds.
Let me go get some rain barrels and collect rainwater or know how to purify water, how to source groundwater. Let me get some medical supplies. Let me get
There you go.
some
Get
weapons
that sea moss
to
up in
protect me and
yourself.
my family. Let me get
No
some
matter
real
what
money,
your
crystal,
race,
silver, and gold.
no matter what your race, your ethnicity, your creed, what culture that you come from, we all need to come together because it is us against them.
Yeah.
And when you start to believe that they divide us in every way that they can, they got a puppet that they're pulling the strings
Yeah.
to lead
Let
us.
me say this. You're right on this. So the future is not 100% guaranteed, but what they want us to believe is the future that they project and that they're trying to create. so that
There
we
you go.
will acquiesce and not fight against it, because they're trying to pre-program us to think that they do already have the control, that it's already set up for them to win. But that is not the truth. The truth is that this is an evolving situation, and that the dynamics and variables are constantly changing. And as more and more people become aware of what they're doing, we are altering reality. Right now, this live stream, the consciousness that we're putting out, and as more people get aware of stuff, it's altering the reality. It's changing the dynamic. You know, it's affecting the space and how things are moved, because we are becoming aware of who they are and what they're trying to do. And because we see their end game and we're saying, no, we don't want that. And we're voting with our money, and we're doing certain things with our time and our energy and who we listen to. We are actively, consciously changing the global dynamic. And this is what they didn't anticipate. This is what they didn't expect, because back in the day, it was easy for them to control people and lie to them and manipulate them. But now today, they can't do it. And so they're losing. So yeah, they might try to set up all this, but it won't happen. It won't happen. And we're a testament to it, because we are conscious. We are awakened to who they are, what they have done, and we're saying no. And we're going to continue to wake up more people, and they can't stop it. It's at a critical mass point right now. So now that we realize that, how do we wake up more people? And then how do we put ourselves in position to build the new world? Because the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. You understand? Like the money, the paper money system that they have benefited from is collapsing under its own weight. And those of us who are holding on to real money, God's money, physical silver and gold, and digital assets, that is the new money. That is the new wealth of the system. There's only a certain amount of people that's tapping into that consciousness. But it will be up to those people who have those assets to usher in, to help build, to help create, to help finance the new world. And that's the position that we have, because we're the ones who are tapping in. We have the eyes. We can see what's going on. We have the ears. We're listening. We're taking the action. We're buying the digital assets. We're buying the gold and silver. We're the ones who are going to be in position to actually do something. Well, this is something that they didn't anticipate. This is something that they didn't want, but there's nothing that can stop it. And we're going to continue to win. We're winning more than we're losing. And it might look like we're losing on a global scale with the wars and everything else. But I'm telling you one thing, we're winning, and we've already won. The battle has already been won. We're just living out the movie.
One thing that I love to do, that I love, you know, by me being in prison for those 13 years that I was there, man, many years I was in segregation, and I did 2 years consecutively in segregation. And with that 2 years in segregation, I learned to know myself, because I was in there in the cell by myself, and I used to read the story of Yeshua and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Musa, Moses, and they, you know, Yeshua, he went off for 40 days and 40 nights unto himself and reflected on self. You know, you got to go off into self, you know, and go off into your higher self, you know, and to be able to become conscious, you know, because there's a lot of noise out here. So you got to get away. You got to withdraw from the world, you know, and reflect on self, you know, because you have all of the answers.
Yeah, no, that's real talk. You know, like I said, this is a spiritual thing just as much as it is a physical thing. It does require us to take physical action to do certain things, but this is a spiritual, metaphysical, vibrational, you know, type of evolution that's taking place amongst humanity. This process in itself is an evolutionary process, the conscious awakening of humanity.
You're so right. It's so, even though it's about the money, it's so much more than about the money. And what Lord Kareem was saying, I did 6 years in prison too. It ain't nothing when you get time to sit in your cell by yourself for a long, extended period of time. If you never knew yourself, you're gonna find out who you are when you sit in that box.
But you don't have to be in the box. You can do it. You can, you know, sometimes I sit here to myself and I'm just here in my house, in my home, and I'm just quiet and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm reflecting, and I'm
You
getting
see how
in the
beautiful.
universe. I'm getting those downloads, and
You
that's
see how
just, this
beautiful
is
you handle it. So my bad to cut your wisdom, but I wanted to bring this up. Look how beautiful you're able to handle adversity now, or when something come up, you'd be able to handle it flawlessly, rather than somebody who hasn't been through as much as you would be feeling like they're about to die.
You know, and when I hear I talk about this stuff, it made me think about, you know, this is why they got rid of the Black Panthers. You
Yep.
know, the Black Panthers implemented programs that they're using today here in the U.S. government, you know, healthcare and all kind of stuff. And, you know, this is what we were doing as a community, you know, protecting our
Really.
people, informing our people about the laws, and, you know, coming together in crisis management, and, you
Yeah.
know, all type of solutions. And, you know, this is what, you know, so that's what y'all, you know, you brothers reminding me of. They didn't want us to come together. They wanted to stop, you know, the Black Messiah from coming. That was J. Edgar Hoover's, you know, main goal.
Yep.
They wanted to stop our people from realizing who we are. You know,
I
because
really want peace for everyone.
If
I just
Candace
want.
Owens, I just want to say, if Candace Owens could expose the synagogue of Satan, then who are
Yes.
the real people we talking about here?
you know, hey, and then we have brothers and sisters out here are unaliving each other
Yeah,
in
man.
record numbers, and they are lost. These are, we can't say just white YT people are devils. No, we have
No.
devils who come in all
Yeah.
All
colors,
shades, all colors.
shapes,
Yep.
and forms. So we have to come with those, ride with those who
Yeah.
are like-minded, who are evolved.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Man, I'm telling you, these conversations right here is so powerful.
Powerful,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? We done broke the firmament with this one, brothers. Yeah, 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 real talk. So much value, man. I appreciate y'all. Um, yeah, look,
I want peace for everyone. You know what I mean? That's what I really want.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
peace will come through evolution. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about Darwinism, evolution of the mind.
Right.
Peace will come through evolution. Let us evolve. For those who are evolved, you will have peace with them. But for those who are not evolved, then don't cast your jewels and your pearls to the swine.
There you go.
yeah. I wanna get this in real quickly. So most people know, like, obviously, get your digital assets, get your, you know, XRP, XLM, XDC. You know,
Oh yeah.
I get those on crypto.com, and I get it on a reoccurring buy. I just set it up, and I dollar cost average, you know, $150 every week. You know, I get some XRP, or I'll get some, you know, different cryptos. I got some SUI on a reoccurring buying as well. Obviously, you can buy, you know, these digital assets on crypto.com or Coinbase, but don't leave them on exchanges. Okay,
Oh yeah.
when you get your digital assets, take them off the exchange and put them into a cold wallet or a hot wallet where you own your seed phrases, your private keys, your mnemonic phrase. Put it on a ledger, cold wallet, whatever it is. Just make sure because, you know, you're going to get wealthy. You're going to have wealth. You're going to have assets, but you have to make sure you know how to move and secure those assets,
Yeah.
especially the digital ones. So make sure that you do that. And then for those of y'all who realize that you need to get physical silver, and you want to get physical silver, go to atcostmetals.com and get it at the best price, because they're giving you gold, silver, platinum with no markup. So there's nobody beating their prices. So that means you're saving money, and you're going to get more weight, because
Hey,
I tell
brother,
people,
this brother right here, he just asked a question, Mark. He said, what is the best cryptos to get into? So I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't want to give you financial advice, but I want to tell you, brother, that XRP, XLM, and XDC, buy them.
You better say it.
XRP, XLM,
I condone that.
XDC,
Yeah.
buy them. They cheap right now. They cost 50 cent, 52 cent right now for XRP, 10 cent right now for XLM, and XDC costs less than that.
Go do your
Get
research
them
also.
and hold them forever. Don't get rid of them. Hold them. Bitcoin, when it came out, it was less than a penny. XRP is the new financial system. XLM is the new financial system. XDC is the new system for keeping all of the records.
GBEX, baby, you know it. You know I got some GBEX Turkey 88. GBEX runs on XDC.
Yeah. Shout out to Block Nation, by the way, as well. Shout out Block
I said
Nation. And,
for the person who at XDC,
what's his name?
XRP, XLM. That's what I said.
Yeah. And let me get that website out, brothers, because I know a lot of most people getting into digital, but they don't have the physical. And I'm telling you, silver.
Yes, get that silver.
Silver is the most undervalued physical asset on the planet. Just like
M.I.M.S.
XRP is the most undervalued digital asset on the planet. So go to www.atcostmetals.com, atcostmetals.com, enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. I put it in the chat, but go ahead, Blockchain. Go ahead.
Every time I see your face, I see two big ass silver clankers going together. I love it.
I'm in Dallas, Texas right now for the At Cost Metals convention. I don't got the bars with me, but I will be live streaming some of the event here in Dallas, Texas for At Cost Metals. But this is going to be the biggest gold and silver company ever because they're allowing people to get gold and silver at cost, no markup. So go to atcostmetals.com, enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. But yeah, I'll be back home Monday, and I'll have them bars with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me put this in the chat, atcostmetals.com. Look, so I get excited though because, this not only are we aware and the information that we have, but we have the assets, and there's going to be a time where we're all 7, 8, 9-figure people, and now we got to come together and buy the whole. And literally, right now, there's whole towns for sale. We could buy a whole town right now for like $1.2 million, and because of the innovation and technology with solar and all kind of stuff, we can build a future, a city of the future. All this land with this grass. Why is there grass there? Why are we not growing stuff on the side of the road? You walk around in your community. Why is it not just cherry trees and grapes and all kinds of stuff just growing out the ground? Why doesn't the county? Why don't we have money to where we pay somebody to just go around? We spend money, billions of dollars for wall. We got money. We got government money to cut down the trees and cut the grass on the roads and everywhere else. Well, why can't we have that same kind of money going to where no matter where you walk in our community, we just picking up fruit and vegetables right off the ground?
The thing, the reason why is because listen, let me tell you, as a collective, as the global population of the world, all of us, all colors, shapes, creeds, it is our fault. Everybody is asking the simple question, how do we escape the matrix? How do you escape the matrix? Don't feed the matrix. Don't vote for their system. Don't vote for their candidates. Boycott them. All right? Starve the system. Come together, unite. Stop fighting each other over race. Stop fighting each other over crumbs off the slave master's table. Starve the system. Come together. Unite under one banner.
Yeah, facts. And let me get this code, Lovely Mary. So Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. So just RICARDO Hamilton, that's me, no spaces. When you go to atcostmetals.com to join, you'll pay a membership, very small membership, but you're gonna save money with the membership getting these metals, okay? Getting physical silver and gold delivered to your home. So referral code is Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. And that's it. And the last thing, well, not even gonna say the last thing, but the other thing I'll say is, and I tell people this all the time, in this economy, if you're relying on one stream of income, you're a disaster waiting to happen. Okay. You have to create multiple streams of income. And why am I saying that? Why am I throwing this piece in here? Because if all you have is digital assets and all you have is physical silver and gold, it's just a matter of time before you're going to end up having to liquidate your assets, because you still need to maintain your standard of living. You still need to pay bills. You still need to eat. You still need to provide for yourself and your family, right? And so you want to have multiple streams of income. You want to have cash flow, right? Because, the whole idea is you should never have to sell your crypto and you should never have to sell your physical silver and gold. because you will be able to use them as collateral to continue to fuel the financial system. The same way we stake our crypto, the same way we provide it for liquidity and yield farming and everything else, the same way we'll be able to continue to do that with our gold and our silver and our digital assets. You will never have to sell. So don't put yourself in a position where they're going to create such an economic environment to where you have to sell your assets for whatever reason, because that's what they want to do. Because the way they're going to try to control us is by putting us in a depression.
Yeah.
They're gonna crash the system, and you ain't gonna have no way to be able to provide for you and yourself, and you're gonna accept whatever they got. You're gonna accept the UBI. You're gonna accept the CBDC. You're gonna accept it, and not us because we're in position. But I'm talking about the masses of people who are just unaware. They're gonna accept whatever the government has for them. That's gonna come down the line. So it's important that you not only get these assets, but you create additional streams of income in the process, because you will need cash flow to maintain standard of living, especially as they continue to kill the purchasing power of the dollar.
Absolutely. Another thing is you want to be in a position with these assets for when they fly, so you can put those assets to work, so they can work for you and bring in you passive income. Because with these DeFi platforms that are in place, it's just going to be amazing. I'm hearing senators and like regulations even have meetings about regulating DeFi. So it's coming.
Oh yeah. Once regulations comes, it's over. And we're so close, fam. We're so close. Like, we don't have to wait 5 years. We don't have to wait 3 years. I mean, I can see this wealth trend. Like, a lot of us on this live stream right now who are watching this information, who are accumulating these assets. I like to under-promise, over-deliver, but I can see easily less than 2 years. A lot of us, because of what we're holding and what we continue to hold, a lot of us are already 6, 7, 8 figure.
And
right now.
I want y'all to know, I want y'all brothers to know that the court case is fake news, y'all. Don't buy into the court case. It's fake news. All right, they're all together. Huh?
You talking about the XRP case?
Yeah, it's fake news.
Yeah, that's just a show.
It's fake news.
I've been watching that show since 2018.
Yeah, it's fake news.
Yeah, I bought some more on a dip. When I bought XRP at like 52 cents. I put a couple $100 in. I bought some more on a dip.
I'm dollar cost averaging right now. You know, I'm dollar cost averaging. But man, I want to emphasize to you brothers and sisters that's listening. Unite. Don't let them divide and conquer us. Drop all your bias. Be biased against those who are, not beneficial. But all this race baiting, stop it. They trying to they've been dividing and conquering us for too long now. While they sitting at the at the table together, breaking bread, laughing at us.
Right. That's right. I say that all the time. Don't fall into the the illusion that they want to create, that division, because that's how they've been controlling the whole time, is through that divide and conquer paradigm that they continue to put out for decades. But people are waking up, man. And before, it doesn't matter, because even with that hurricane, I mean, when you see who is for the people and who's not for the people.
There you go.
Don't matter your race, don't matter your color, don't matter who you are. You lumped up in a group category now. It's not selective.
If that wasn't a slap in the face, like, where is the help that they usher into these other countries when a disaster happens?
Yeah.
Where's the help at?
Yeah. Crazy. And somebody said silver. Let me help some people understand. So the price for silver, right? They have been rigging and manipulating this price for decades. JP Morgan and central banks have went to jail for rigging and manipulating the price of silver. They've been fined over $1 billion for rigging and manipulating the price of silver, while at the same time, JP Morgan is sitting on 800 million ounces of silver. So we've had massive rigging and manipulation of the price of silver, and silver right now is they're finding new applications for it in solid state batteries through Samsung. India and China are buying up more silver than they ever have any time period for solar panels. Silver is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, water purification, silver used for. So the technological revolution that we're seeing take place doesn't even happen without physical silver, because it is the most electrical conductive metal. It's God's money. So the price of physical silver, I literally can see it being on a 1-to-1 ratio with gold because they have really been manipulating the price of silver for so long. And I'm responding to that question because somebody say, how high can I see the price of silver go? I can see within 10 years of the silver to gold ratio being on a 1-to-1 ratio because silver is an industrial metal. There's not that many silver mines. There's more gold above ground, and silver has been trashed. So when you really do the research and you really understand the dynamics of what's going on in the silver market versus what's available, there's more demand for physical silver than there is supply. And if you go to X and you type in silver squeeze, okay, then you'll start to see some of the dynamics that got people really excited about GameStop with Robinhood and Citadel and all that corruption that was going on and whatever talking about, where you could see a squeeze in the stock price. And that creates this exponential growth in the dollar amount in that stock price is the same type of scenario that we're going to see in silver. It's exponentially going to go higher. It's the most undervalued physical asset on the planet. And so that's why you want to get it. And that's why I say go to at cost metals and get it at cost. Don't overpay. And enter referral code Ricardo.
I was looking at.
Yo, you talk about a beautiful use case, Mims.
I was looking at
Yeah, the use case. There's so many use cases for silver.
So many.
I was looking at Quincy Jones, one of the developers of the XDC network.
Yeah.
And he explained XRP. He said that a country could take all of their debt and put it on the XRPL. And if they had 500 billion in debt, the debt that they put on the XRPL will increase the value of XRP. So, and if they was 500 billion in the plus, they can put that likewise on the XRPL, and that will increase. So, imagine what the value of XRP can be.
Oh my goodness.
You can't even wrap your mind around it.
We can't. Yeah. You see, because we've been watching it for years and years and years, and the price has been, pretty much stable. So our brains can't even fathom where it's going to go. But when you talk about the world and the countries that are waiting on the sidelines, like they're salivating at the mouth to use XRP. They can't wait to get on board.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Everything is going to move on the blockchain. All the money, and when you're talking about all the money, it's that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to Some people say, well, when people ask, what's the highest you can see it go, it's because they're trying to calculate, what they would have based on what they got and based on where it can go.
Right.
And it's like people ask me all the time, when is Bitcoin going to hit 1 million, or when is XRP going to break all-time high, or
I don't even care about the price. Tell you the truth.
It doesn't matter. What matters is when it does take off, are you in position?
Well,
when XRP takes off, are you in position? When Bitcoin takes off, are you in position? When silver takes off, are you in position? And the piece on silver is that we've seen inflation. We've seen inflation in everything. We've seen them print trillions upon trillions of dollars, pandemic. Everything else has risen all-time highs except silver. Silver still 50% off from its all-time high. We've seen inflation and trillions of dollars printed, but silver still massively suppressed in value. XRP sitting at pennies. So these are the assets that you're going to want to hold. They're going to create massive wealth for you. And the more you have, the better, because as it moves up, the more wealthy you are. But it is hard to put a dollar amount on these assets because it's when you just really understand its role, its limited supply, its use case, and you're talking about the collapse of the whole financial system, the derivatives market, the debt market, bond market, stock market, real estate, and the reevaluation of it. Because when markets collapse, money doesn't disappear. It just transfers. It just changes hands.
Again, last night, the Simpsons episode, they said the name of the episode was The Reset. They said it's not. They say it's not the end. It's just a reset. So they are. And if you look at the dollar bill,
they're telling you again.
Out of order comes chaos. I don't know how to pronounce the Latin word. So they're going to destroy, break. They're going to tear down the old system and they're putting in the infrastructure right now of the new system, and they're going to rebuild it, and it's going to be under the digital, a digital economy worldwide.
Yeah. I'm laughing at these comments. Old boy says so. XRP will never get above $2. And I'm just thinking to myself, it already went above $2 before. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, hey, I'm gonna.
And that was with nothing.
I'm gonna be sitting back laughing at him when I'm sitting when I own in my plus mansion.
Look, all this RSULD, the real stable coin being printed on the ledger right now. Smart contracts coming to the ledger. Major partnerships. They signed over like 1,700 NDAs with banks and institutions. Like people just don't have no idea. Yeah, ETFs. All this. Oh yeah.
Grayscale XRP ETF.
Yep. Bitwise getting ready to do the same. I mean, so much.
Bitwise, yep. Delaware.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Come on, people.
Come on. They're not doing that for no reason. They ain't doing that for no reason.
Man, I'm sitting up here. I'm arguing with my wife right now because she doesn't want to buy, and I'm gonna buy, but I'm dragging her to the. She wants to buy pumpkins for Halloween. To hell, that's an expensive pumpkin. To hell with pumpkins.
Hey, look, this ain't the time to waste some money on stupid stuff. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people don't realize, like, people, like, they look at Bitcoin, because what happens is people want to buy stuff when it's at all-time highs. Why you want to wait until it's green candles and everybody's talking about the buy? You need to buy when it's down, when there's FUD and blood in the streets. That's when you buy, because that's when you get wealthy. You don't, people are going to start buying, the guy who said it won't get to $2, that's when he's going to buy. That's his number.
Let me answer the guy who said
that. $2, that's when he's going to buy.
Let me answer the guy who said that. I was listening to Brad Garlinghouse, and Crypto Hawk pointed this out. Because I don't want to steal his glory. Brad Garlinghouse said the people, some of the team who worked on XRP are some of the early developers of Bitcoin. Now you tell me that they don't know who Satoshi is. They are he might be Satoshi. Satoshi is a group of people. And the same people who created XRP is the same people who created Bitcoin.
Yep. Mr. Schwartz, David Schwartz, former CIA.
Absolutely. NASA.
Let me see if somebody else want to come in here and add some value. Maybe. Let me change this up. Yeah, no, XRP massively undervalued, folks. Just understand that. Like, this is how I put it. When you look at the dollar continuing to lose value and everything's priced in dollars, assets are going to continue to rise. So put whatever you're looking at, put it against the backdrop of a declining fiat currency. Put it against the backdrop of the dollar continuing to lose purchasing power, and then
That's right.
I did see a TikToker come in. You got some value you want to add to the stream?
That's right, Sauce and the NSA.
Yeah, how's everybody doing today?
All right.
So I think anything with BRICS is not good for us. We understand their intent. Their intent is to dethrone the dollar. Mm-hmm. And when we look at these countries as a collective, these are countries that hate us. And the more countries they can get on their side, the more power they're going to have. Eventually, I think what's going to happen is they're going to throw the dollar out. It's going to be dethroned, and they're going to start making demands of America, and we're going to become someone's bitch.
Hey, listen, man. All of these people work for the same master. I don't think you heard when we were just talking about Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden are friends for real. Xi Jinping and all of these people, all the world leaders are together under one master, okay? They listen, all of the BRICS, I'm not worried, I'm not concerned about the BRICS. I'm keeping my eyes on the prize, XRP, XLM, XDC, and other digital assets. I don't care what they're doing. I'm not finna go for the
let me. No, I would say this. I would say this to the brother TikToker. This is the thing about it. The United States dollar is not our money. The United States dollar is a Federal Reserve's note, which is a private banking cartel that was used to enslave the nation of its people through debt and interest.
There
So we
you
first,
go.
so I understand that it would seem counterintuitive to be advocating for the dollar's demise or something of that nature, but that's not necessarily the case. What we are looking at are dynamics and factors that are taking place regardless, and there is nothing that we can do to stop it. So we have to make proper adjustments in our own financial strategy to make sure that we're going to be able to hedge against it and prepare. I mean, we should have the stronger currency. We should. But the case is that the dollar is no longer backed by gold. Saudi Arabia is no longer required to take the dollar for oil, and that the dollar will continue to decline in purchasing power, and that the world want to get back to a sound monetary standard. The world wants to get back to a sound money standard. It doesn't want to operate on debt anymore.
And the thing is that we are going to
I was just talking about the consequences.
We are going to a one world currency, man.
The consequences are here regardless of our opinions. This is a trajectory that's going to take place regardless. So there's going to be consequences. Yes. Now, what we're saying is hedge against those consequences. Eliminate third-party counter risk in your financial strategy. Become decentralized. Get real money, physical gold and silver, constitutional money, because there's risk regardless. There's risk all the time. But if you're staying in the risk, then you're going to be exposed to the risk. But there are opportunities for you to diversify and hedge against that risk.
Right, because if you look at BTC,
are you suggesting gold alone? Because there's not enough gold.
You must have just got on the stream. No, he must have just got on the live stream. No. Of course, we're advocating.
I'm talking about the consequence. We got to hedge against the consequences of trade. Do you understand? Like,
what do we trade in?
What do we trade in? The lead currency that is a requirement of all nations to put into, you then hold the power to make demands of other countries. If you have China at the top, which is at the top of BRICS, making the demands against a country when the dollar becomes dethroned and their currency, whatever they determine within BRICS, starts to take over, China will start to make demands of a country they hate the most. And what do you think that's going to look like? So I agree that we need to hedge against it. But what I'm saying, that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about that consequence right there. China hates us, and if they have the power, they'll do what we did.
I understand that concern, but let me say this. That for one thing, with China and all these other countries, like Trump said, we're going to even the playing field. And that's what we're seeing. The playing field is because we've had an unfair advantage because the Federal Reserve been able to create value from nothing. And that's why the dollar was taken off the gold standard in 1971 by Richard Nixon, because other countries realized that we were printing more money to pay for these wars than we had, or printing more dollars than we had money to back it, which was gold. And then so because the other countries like France and them were continuing to request their physical gold, we reduced our, what's in Fort Knox? We don't know what's in Fort Knox. There was a reason that the world, gold and silver has been money. Even before the United States dollar had the world reserve currency status, it was the British pound sterling that was backed by silver. Before then, it was the Dutch, and then the Romans, and then the Greeks, and in Egypt. It was always gold and silver that evened the playing field around the world. You see, but it's become uneven. So you're advocating, or now I would say advocating, but you're understanding that, yes, the dynamic will change, but this is why we have to become a part of this fair system. We cannot continue to be exploiting other nations so we can live on the high horse.
Well, let me say this to you. If the 13 bloodlines, and I want you to understand this clip, if the Illuminati wanted China to be top dog and have the Federal Reserve Bank there controlling the world, then it would be there. All right. All of them are together. All of the world leaders work together in concert towards one government, one world currency. All right. So we need to get out of this thinking that the people of China are against us. The people of China are not against us. All right. The people of China are not against us. The people of Iran are not against us. We should not be out here thinking that these people, other nations of people, other cultures are against us. We need to banner and all come together as one people. And we need to understand that the ruling elites are the people who are against us.
I want to let me add, hold on. Let me
Talking about countries that want to see us burn.
Let me organize.
They literally say
hold
that.
on.
What do you mean they're not against us?
Hold on. Let me organize this. So I'm gonna let TikTok. I'm gonna let you respond real quick, and I'm gonna bring in Sauce Mango, and let him add some value to what his opinions are as well. But let me say this. I agree with Lord Kareem. What he's saying. What he's saying is that these other countries are against imperialism. They're against the weaponization of the monetary system that exploits their country and their people and puts them in a dire economic straits while we continue to profit from it. So I agree. I would like to think that the people in other countries are not against the people in other countries, but the governments and institutions, they are against that, and that's what they're fighting. So when you see war, it's not about the people. It's not us that is causing problems in China. It's not us. It's the CIA. It's these central banks. You know, it's those people that they're against, and it looks like they're against us as we the people. But we have bought into a false narrative. You understand? So that's why I say the enemy of our enemy. If you don't realize who your enemy is and who is the enemy of your enemy, then you could be fighting on the wrong side of the war. You could be thinking that if
you're saying the people within these countries.
Let me say this. Do you think
they're not against us? I agree.
Yes, the people in these countries not against. Let me give you 9/11.
I want to make it even more clear to you. I want to make it even. No, I want to make it even. I want to make it even more clear. Please let me make it even more clear to you.
I'm gonna let Lord Kareem. I'm gonna let you. Hold on, Lord. I'm gonna let you finish, Lord Kareem, and I'm gonna let Sauce Mango make his statement, and then we can go around. Go ahead.
I want to make it more clear to you. Listen, brother. The governments of the world are the 1%. They are all together to manipulate the world's people. All right. They all work for one boss. These principalities, all right, the Illuminati, the 13 bloodlines. All right, listen, they are all together. They have us divide and conquer. Okay, you know, they do these wars and kill people and have us fighting with each other to make us think that they are enemies, but they are not enemies. All right, it's all a game. They playing chess, you playing checkers. All right, stop playing checkers. Stop getting caught up in the division. Keep your eyes on the prize. Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin are not in tour with each other.
Go ahead, brother. Sauce Mango. Go ahead. I know you was on for a little minute. You want to add some statements or some value to the stream. Go ahead.
Nah, y'all good, man. Yeah, dude. I'll just give you a little bit of background of me, bro. Like circa 2012, 2011, I used to drive up to Washington, D.C. and insert money into an ATM machine, and it would spit me out an address. I used to use that to go buy stuff on Silk Road, Tor, and all that kind of stuff. What I'll say about Bitcoin, okay, and every cryptocurrency is just a digital timestamp. But Bitcoin in itself, Bitcoin is the only decentralized one. Vice versa, you have these individuals, the NSA, the CIA, that essentially created SHA-256, which is the hash rate that it uses. It's a way that they sent money to each other overseas under the eyes of the population. You could even look back to Mt. Gox when we were trading it back then.
There we go.
I think it was under like $14 or something like that. And the only time you ever saw it jump was when you saw an astronomical number being bought and sent, which was them using that money to offset it to other people under the eyes of the IRS. So with that being said, man, now what you have today is all these altcoins and all this stuff that has been forked off of Bitcoin and everything. It's just scammers making more money off of people designing it as these things. Do they have utility? Yes, they have some sort of utility with TPS and stuff like that. But the TPS of these things, like Bitcoin, for example, is what, 15 TPS? When we look at that, like the whole ideology of using cryptocurrency as a currency is not the way to go. All this is just sort of a arbitrary trading to essentially create wealth. Like you should never want it to go to a currency. simply because of you already see it happening. Wall Street is starting to control it. You know, after the halving and after all that, you saw with Sam and FTX and all them, they spoofed Bitcoin's price up to 65,000, and they're controlling it now. So it'll never be organic as what it was. Will I think it will eventually take over currencies? Absolutely not. BRICS currency and BRICS precious metal backed currency is simply just a middleman for trade to the petrodollar. That's all. US dollar will never go away because there's too many currencies that are based off of the US dollar. Over, I think it's 40% is held in reserves and stuff like that. So, I mean, just with that being said, man.
I think you're missing. I think everybody's missing what I was talking about when it comes to these other countries. Like, we have to really look at humans just in general, whether you're in this country or in another country. When you hold the power, we as humans, greed comes upon us. We try to control other people. We're so believing in that fact that only America does what it does. Well, we hold the power, and these other countries, they want what we have. So I'm not going to feel sympathetic for countries like Iran and China that simply hate us because we possess something that they don't, and they want this one world government only because they don't like the way America runs. Want this one world government.
They
don't destroy what America's always been.
Yeah, I think the thing is that when you see countries de-dollarizing and using Bitcoin, the future is about options, and that's really what it's coming down to. Countries around the world want options, and the future looks like there's going to be multiple forms of payments for products, goods, and service in global international trade, where people have more options that are outside of the dollar. And that is because the United States has weaponized the dollar monetary system. And you're seeing that with Saudi Arabia taking other currencies and other things for oil. We're seeing that obviously with BRICS. But the thing is yes, I agree. The United States dollar isn't going anywhere tomorrow. But and I talked about this already when I started the live stream. The national debt can be $1 billion, trillion, quadrillion dollars. The Federal Reserve already came out and said that they can print as much money as they need to pay the debt. But what they cannot guarantee is the purchasing power of those notes.
Yep.
So sure, the dollar will still be here, but what is the purchasing power of the dollar? It's just like if you look at Venezuela and you see their fiat currency collapse, people didn't have the paper to buy tissue. But the goal,
respectively, Mims, like if Bitcoin were to become Sats and things like that, because like Satoshis and things like that, it's basically all the way to the lowest amount of Bitcoin. I think it's like 0.00, yeah, all the way down basically.
Right.
So like when you go, if this were to get implemented, and if it were, I truly feel like it would become stabilized with outside funding and stuff like that. But even so, let's just say, for instance, it crashed, right? Now your purchasing power for Bitcoin is tremendously lower than what it was at before. You kind of know what I mean? So I think like in general, like the stabilization of the dollar is needed or BRICS currency is needed to stabilize it for trade. And that's all I think it's really needed for. I
appreciate you all the brothers who came on early. I know they had to go. I've been on here for about 2 hours as well. So I appreciate the value I had. Make sure if y'all didn't get a chance to follow those brothers who came on, but they usually hop on all the time when I hop on. But I hear what you.
That was a good conversation, bro.
Yeah, no, that was fire, and I appreciate you hopping on. Even the dissenting opinions, I don't have no problem when people come in with a dissenting opinion because it creates more value, it creates more substance, it helps expand the dialogue that needs to be had because the truth is somewhere in the middle. And but I just see that this is a situation where you just want to be diversified, because there are so many variables. Nobody has a crystal ball, but you want to be diversified, So that's why we say, in addition to holding cash, because you should have an emergency fund, right? You want to have your savings in gold and silver, especially silver, and you want to invest in blockchain and crypto because we can't ignore the developments that institutions and banks and companies are doing on the blockchain, and we can't ignore the market cap and the growth of these digital assets. And so,
fully agree. Yep.
Yeah, with the dollar losing value, you have to do something with it. You can't just hold on to dollars. You can't just leave it in the bank. the bank isn't giving you any interest, and banks are insolvent right now. And with Basel III, the Bank of International Settlements changing the rules and requirements, you just want to be, you want to be hedged as best as possible.
Yeah, you definitely want to be prepared for it, man. And like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I'm well into crypto. Like, I've been in it for a couple, probably, I've been using it forever, man. You know what I mean? Honestly, but the way I look at crypto is a little bit different than most people. But yeah, I mean, I think, like, just like I said, there's definitely money to be made into it, utility and everything like that. So, with time and everything like that, that will tell. Blockchain, I think, will continue to grow and continue to be utilized inside of our daily lives and stuff like that. So yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate it. I followed you, bro. I'll come back and talk and stuff like that. Yeah, man. Take it easy, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you hopping on, and I do appreciate the value that you added to the stream, because it helps make it make sense for people. And that's what's important, because that dialogue and that back and forth, it helps the neurons connect in people's brains and make it make sense. And that's important right now. We need more conscious people. We need more people who understand, aware of what's going on. So yeah, I appreciate you, boss.
No, absolutely, man. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Aisha, I see you just hopped in. How you doing, Queen? Any questions or comments?
Yeah, hey, good afternoon. Saying I have a poor connection, so I'm sorry if I sound choppy or anything, but
You are right now.
yeah, I came in and I came in the middle of your discussion. You were talking about what the perception is internationally, and I just wanted to make it clear that the perception is that you have a lot of people who are dual citizen or have a family member with dual citizenship, and they do see the West as an unwell stated place, and the moves back during COVID caused the inflation, because when you have a credit system along with liquidity, you have an injection of promises without actuality. So that's what caused the inflation. And I really believe, because I actually am fighting two of the biggest banks in America, Wells Fargo Bank and Citigroup, and both of them, they're going after title. They're going after deed. They're going after the ability of people having some dirt to stand on and the right to hold that dirt. You get what I'm saying?
You will own nothing and be happy type thing, huh?
Right, exactly. And that's what that transition to the digital asset is all about, because it's about giving people, there's a reason why they're not teaching kids how to do cursive anymore. There's no longer will you need a signature. No longer would you need to write curses upon others or benefits unto yourself. You get what I'm saying? Because a profit always means a loss to the other person.
And so you were saying they want to make sure that they don't have any losses, that the people of M.I.M.S absorb all the losses from a certain point in the future.
Exactly.
This has been happening since
Now you can Google zombie mortgages, and that'll let you know what's going on. You got people like I lost my mom breast cancer back in 2006. She had a mortgage life insurance, and I had to fight them for over 8 years. It became a RICO against them because it turned out they had a whole pool where they were pulling from the federal agencies that liquidity, and then going back and still harassing that person because they wanted that property to sit empty.
It's called preparation. You got to prepare yourself before anything. You got to have everything set up before that person passed. You should have done that,
Oh, it was done. It was very well done. My mom was a city planner. She was a city planner. Yeah, it was done. It was completely bona fide. But the thing is that, like I said, the trend is that it is to transfer the people, the human resources, the human capital into the digital world so that they no longer be idolists. Watch these guys. Look at the hats they're wearing. They're telling you right there in your face.
You're that too. Ricardo, I wanted to just jump in. I'm going to jump right off.
Go ahead, brother.
Jacob West overlooked. Jacob West. Yes, sir. I joined in, just happened to stumble across this live. You made some really good points when you first came on. That's some really key points you made. That was 100%. Ricardo, your points earlier, I appreciate the way you drew the conversation back in, brought some clarity to the entire discussion. The new TikToker that came in a few minutes ago, he made some good points, but just from a different aspect. The two other brothers that were here, they made some 100% true points from a different aspect. You guys, we got to be hedged. But they're talking about being hedged. And, I'm reading this book, Stephen Covey. Two people can be right from totally different perspectives, but 100% right. One people, we're talking about just being financially hedged. Yeah, it doesn't matter what BRICS does to a degree.
yes, the dollar isn't going away tomorrow.
Yeah.
Those things are going to be some shakeups, and those are some new ideas that people are just now waking up to. But those aren't going to be immediate shakeups. We just need to be financially hedged against them in different assets. And again, to Aisha's point, that's going to mean our physical holdings. Own nothing and be happy is a real thing. At the same time, that's why we got to go into the globe is becoming a more transient place. Physically, are we prepared for what's going to happen to the family and to the individual with these type of financial changes? Those people over in those other countries, sure, they don't hate us as individuals in many cases, but they're going to do what their governments tell them to do. Why are those Russian soldiers over there fighting their brethren in Ukraine, in Belarus? It's a foolish situation. And they're doing it because they're under command, they're under control. So we got to look at how this is going to affect us in all ways. And the key word that you mentioned, Ricardo, is hedged. But we got to be hedged from all the facets. That's all I got time for, man. I just wanted to say I appreciate the live of it. Keep doing this. Keep bringing it up. I'm going to follow you guys. I'm going to try to, follow and reach out to the other gentlemen too. Make some really good points in my angle. Just really want to say thank you, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for adding value and plugging in and showing love to the live stream. And I agree with you 100%. And it does come down to hedge. There's a lot of variables, and you're right. People will do what their government said because they're not as conscious as us. The free flow of information and consciousness that we have right now, we might take it for granted. In other countries, they don't have this information. They're under their own form of control and slavery and misinformation in their own country. So yeah, as conscious as we are, we can't apply and hope that the same consciousness is in the people in those countries as well. But we do want to be considerate of that. And this is why I say it's just important that we become aware of all these variables, be aware of these obstacles and challenges, and that the most important economy is your economy. And I say this all the time: nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself, and we have to address this situation day by day as each circumstance and situation comes in. Go ahead, Aisha. I was liking the value was added. I was trying to get to the meat of what you were saying, but yet as far as the system is corrupt, it's a corrupt system that allows them to continue to confiscate and manipulate the wealth from the people through these mechanisms of the Federal Reserve and central banks. But go ahead, I'm listening to you.
Oh yeah, they just call it good business. You call it corruption, they call it good business.
Right.
A business goal, when somebody sits down and writes down a business plan, the plan is, well, anybody who if you're going to start a pizza shop or you're going to flip money, the end goal is to have no loss. The end goal is to get rid of the risk. And if you can mitigate the risk onto your consumer, well, these guys are going to, if they can throw the risk onto the government, they'll do that. And so they play on both sides. They call them triple agents. And it's like, they sit there and they're trying their best. They could be staring at, I literally was in the Aquin building one time. I watched an old woman in her 70s go into a nervous breakdown because she paid her 30-year mortgage off completely. And they still were foreclosing on her. Now, why do they do that? Because they got them in pooling series, and they got people shareholders that are hoping that they can retire and live on that passive income. So they're trying to undercut her so that they can keep telling their shareholders that the cut's still coming. The check is still getting cut. Mm-hmm. This is a Ponzi scheme. We got to pay Peter with Paul's money.
Right. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And that's what I'm saying. It's a setup, and it's a system that's designed to siphon the wealth and the equity from the people up to the few. And what happens is a lot of people are witnessing it and then seeing it in real time, like yourself, and trying to expose the fraud and the corruption, or as you said, they call it doing good business. But we're seeing it and witnessing it in real time. But this is something that's been going on, since forever. They've always took our land and resources and reallocated it to themselves and things of this nature. And it's, you're 100% right. I agree with you. And it's important that the conversation is had. Go ahead, brother.
I like to add to this. Look, man, I always tell my people, these people set themselves up. Stay prepared, stay to the basics. All this refinancing, how people are losing their money is all this reverse financing and going into these other industries that, yeah, they're going to take your stuff. You know, you're giving them the will. Stay to the basics, keep it well, and protect yourself.
I
If
think
you got
and I
protection,
want to cut it.
nobody's going to take it. You
No,
know?
I agree. I want to get what you're saying, but I want to add into the fact that yes, even if you do the right things,
Yeah.
it's still a setup.
It's
You know,
going to
look,
be hard.
and I look at 2008. You know, I always just kind of roll back to 2008 because the people were doing it right. You know, even my family members, they were going to work. You know, 40 hours a week, 40 years life. They paying into their social. You know, they're paying into their 401k. You know, they were trying to play it safe, not over leveraged or doing anything risky with their money. And it was Wall Street, that got bailed out. It was Wall Street that got with the credit rating agencies to make the mortgage-backed securities rated AAA and do all the rigging in the system. They knew what was going to happen, that so many people were going to lose their homes, and Countrywide went under, and all these institutions went under, and everybody was, that's what it was all about. But that was the setup from the beginning. That's what, when I start this live stream and I share my information, this is why I say the public enemy number one is the Federal Reserve, because this is what the central bank was designed to do. And all their institutions that benefit from them create a reason for the Federal Reserve to create more debt. And then they create products that are designed to confiscate your wealth that you are naturally going to create because you're naturally wealthy. You live, you exist, you produce, you're a creator. Your existence is wealth in itself. So they figure out a way to monetize you, through securities and paper with your social security number and all that. That's a whole nother part of it, right? The straw man type thing. And that was set up because we have a central bank, the Federal Reserve, all that has been designed to confiscate the wealth of the people. So even if you do it right, I understand what you're saying is you should have just, you should have insurance and you should be protected and this and that nature. But there are still cracks in the system, and they're becoming, sinkholes, and then they're becoming earthquakes where more and more people are caught up in this crisis that shouldn't have been, because the average person has been doing it right, but the system was corrupt from the beginning.
I'm just going to tell you this: if the federal government falls, let's say stocks and everything goes down, our savings and all that, they have to come bring it up, because the whole United States will go down. Everybody will lose their stuff. So they have to protect. You have to have those protections in there. You have to have them.
If it collapses, you said if everything collapses, everything collapses, the solution would be the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve is the buyer and seller of last resort. So the Federal Reserve can print. The Federal Reserve can print as much money as needed. They can print. There's no limit to what the Federal Reserve can print. They can create dollars from nowhere. They can create as much as they need. But what happens is, what is the purchasing power of those dollars? And then, because people are aware of this debt equals money inflationary mechanism, where the more they create, the less value the dollar, they're going to take the dollars and money that they have and put it into those assets that are going to rise in value because of the inflation, because of the devaluation of the currency. And so that's why I was saying, you got to get physical silver, you got to get gold, you got to get into blockchain and crypto, you got to get into these digital assets, because that's where the wealth transfer is going to be. When we talked about it earlier with the Economist magazine, which is a Rothschild-owned magazine, showing fiat currency burning, and it showed a gold coin with XLM symbol on it, which was to symbolize that gold, precious metals, and digital assets are the new monetary system that will rise up out of the fiat system. And so, and I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, get your cryptocurrency, from crypto.com or Coinbase or wherever, but make sure you take it off exchanges. Make sure you put it in your non-custodial, decentralized a hot wallet or a cold wallet. Make sure you have your seed phrases, your private keys, your mnemonic phrases. Do not leave your crypto on exchanges. If you're going to get physical silver and gold, especially physical silver, you need to get it from at cost metals, okay? Because there's no markup on the asset. You're going to get it at the best price. So if you want to get silver, gold, or platinum, and you want to get it at cost, no markup, go to atcostmetals.com, atcostmetals.com, and enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton. Go ahead, brother.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. Knowledge is good. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all letting me be on the chat. Y'all be safe, okay? Take care.
Yes, sir. You too, brother.
Okay, I have one.
Go ahead, Aisha.
And can I mention one thing that I haven't heard get mentioned yet? Is in
Yeah, I
kind.
know. The dollar's not going
Hold on
away.
1 second.
Is
Aliyah, can you mute yourself real quick?
Muhammad.
Because
Can you
you
mute
got
yourself?
the value of the dollar again here.
Can you mute yourself, please?
You know, but
I'm
you'll
gonna have
see
to let
where it
you off the
goes.
live stream if you can't mute.
When it's
All right, I gotta let you go. So you're gonna have to come back in later.
you know, that's
Hold on. All right, all right. Okay, go ahead, Aisha. Aisha, you there?
Are we good?
Yeah, go ahead. I was trying to get
Okay.
mute to
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say was important one is in kind. That is a really big one that the community can engage with and does engage with, and the IRS has tried to make that something that you are required to report on. But in kind is a transaction. Because I thought it was a trip when the digital currency a thing, and everybody was really big about saying, "Oh, this is a way to get around the big man." And I thought it was weird because I was like, "Well, I thought in kind was that." There's absolutely no middleman if you can just go up to somebody and just literally exchange, your service with their product or vice versa and that kind of thing. And people were really big about it not being hackable, and that was silly because there's the old saying, if you can make it, you can break it. So I always thought that was wild. I just wanted to say that part. In kind is a big tip.
I do see somebody else just hopped on. Mike, what's going on, brother? You got any comments, questions you want to add to the stream?
No, I just have a question.
Yes, sir.
The information that you just said about the silver, could you repeat that?
Yeah, so if you want to get physical silver or gold or platinum, and you want to get it at cost, every other company has to mark up the asset. At Cost Metals provides it to you at cost. So go to www.atcostmetals.com, atcostmetals.com. Enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton. There's no spaces. What they do is they'll ship it to your home. You get it at cost. It's a membership, but the membership pays for itself in savings. And once you create an account, I'll reach out to you personally, answer any questions you got, and help you get everything set up. So at costmetals.com, referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. You got that, brother?
Okay, I got it.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Rise with Rudge. What's going on, brother? I see you hopped on. Any questions or comments?
What do you think is going on with the economy? I see you talking about gold, minerals. What do you think is going on?
We've been talking about a lot of it for the last hour or so. What specifically concerns you about the economy?
I was gonna ask you, have you seen those? Oh, I forget what they're called. Those gold slips. They're like those
Gold
dollar
backs.
bills.
Yeah, so they have
Yeah,
some in
gold
Nevada,
backs. Yeah,
New
you seen
Hampshire,
those?
Nevada, Utah. Yeah.
How you feel about those?
Yeah, I have gold backs. I have a lot of gold backs. It's legal. So in the United States, in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution, gold and silver are legal tender. And there are about 12 states in the United States where gold and silver, you can spend it the same way you spend cash. Okay? Because some people say, I can't go to the grocery store and spend my gold or silver. You can in about 12 states in the U.S. where gold and silver is legal tender. So certain states are part of the gold backs community, Utah, Nevada, New Hampshire, a few other ones. And you can spend those gold backs at any business in the state because gold and silver is money. And so I have gold backs, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. It's gold. It's money. It's real money. Gold and silver is real money. It's God's money. You should have some gold backs as well, in addition to silver.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah, great to see the people waking up. Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate everybody who came on. Aisha, too. I appreciate the value you added. Very knowledgeable queen right there. Sister, make sure y'all follow her. Oh, she said her connection got bad. Okay. Yeah, I followed you as well. Yeah, so this is, this is the thing that, conversations like this just help really expand the consciousness, because that's what it's about. This conversation right here, people pay for these kind of conversations. They go to school in hopes of getting these type of conversations and getting this type of information, because most people don't understand the economy in this way. And not everybody's going to agree 100% on everything. Some people are going to be on one side of a position, and some people are going to be on the other side of a position. But it's important to have this dialogue and have opposing opinions, and dissenting opinions. It's critical for the evolution. It's critical for the growth. But what we're seeing today with the censorship and with them trying to, essentially get rid of our rights and the constitutional rights and freedom of speech and things of that nature, they want to create a picture where it's one narrative and what they say go. And that was exposed with Facebook, when Mark Zuckerberg already came out and said that, hey, your federal government was actually colluding with me to censor your First Amendment right. The freedom of speech, of information, and they did that for a particular reason. That's corruption. That's tyranny. You know what I mean? It's Zuckerberg, for him to come out and say that, this government should already be out. It should already be out. You know what I mean? Because they're violating our constitutional rights. They're trying to manipulate our free will. We have free will. And they understand that if they can control the information, they can manipulate our decisions. They're trying to take away our free will. That's why they don't like apps like TikTok. They don't want this dialogue and this conversation and this information to be had. I mean, I've been on here for the last 2 hours or so, and the people that came up, the information, the value that they added was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, because most people have no idea about this stuff, and they need to know this stuff. The stuff that I've been sharing and saying this whole time is mind-blowing information about silver, about gold, about blockchain, about the dollar, about the monetary system, and everything else that we talked about. It's critical that these conversations are had, and not only that these conversations are had, but that people actually take advantage and actually take action off of this information. Because that's the whole point. They say knowledge is power, right? But the truth is that it's applied knowledge. It's applied knowledge that's power, right? And this knowledge and information that we're sharing, institutions know it. The banks know it. The wealthy know it. That's why they're de-dollarizing. That's why they're hedging. That's why they're diversifying. That's why, we see what we're seeing going around the world, where they're buying more gold and silver than they ever have in any time period in history. It's not by accident that we're seeing what's taking place in the digital arena. None of this has happened by accident. They know something. They know what's coming, and they're buying the assets and diversifying for that to take place. And we need to be doing the same thing. But if we don't know the information, then we don't act on it. The only way you're going to know this stuff if somebody tells you. If nobody tells you, there's no way you know. Silver almost broke today. Could happen as early as next week. Upside 40 potential. I saw that, Dino. Silver went up to about $33. It broke over 33, and it was about to take off. And they came back. They came in and started smacking it down again. Because understand something. The price that we see on the paper markets for physical silver and gold is the derivatives market. It's the paper contracts market. That's not the price for the real metal. That's what's really crazy is we're going to see real price discovery for these assets. Right now, there's no real price discovery for these assets because we're dealing with a rigged and manipulated economy and market. But the rigging and manipulation is coming to an end, and the world is waking up to the real value of the assets that are undervalued. And if we acquire these undervalued assets before the world starts to really buy in, that is going to be a massive windfall in profits and wealth for us. So that's why it's important that you want to be ahead of the curve. You want to be acquiring these assets before the world, before the banks, before the rigging and manipulation stops. So yes, silver is going much higher. Silver is going to go much higher on the paper markets. Okay. And that's why we're telling people, unfortunately, some people are going to buy silver when it's at $40. I'm telling you right now, go to at cost metals and get it at, at cost. Okay. And you want to get as much as you can, and silver and gold are savings. Let me say that too. This is how you save your money. Because some people say, well, I want to invest in gold and I want to invest in silver. You do not invest in gold. You do not invest in silver. These are savings instruments. This is real money. This is how you hedge. This is how you preserve the purchasing power of your dollars. Okay. Silver and gold are not investments. Blockchain and crypto is an investment. There's third-party counter risk in the stock market. There is no third-party counter risk with silver and gold. Okay? Gold is a tier 1 asset according to the Bank of International Settlements. Okay? Zero risk associated to it. The stock market is risky. And blockchain and crypto, is risky. But gold and silver, these are zero third-party counter risk assets. So it's important that you understand that you save your money in silver and gold. You invest in blockchain and cryptocurrency. Let me get to some of these comments here. And I'm going to change to another article here in a second. BTC, baby, the greatest wealth transfer yet. Demand the lawful money. Yep, physical silver and gold. The U.S. does not recognize the price of gold and silver right now. Explain to me, how are you taking fiat to buy real money? Make it make sense. Yeah, go to atcostmetals.com. You take your fiat money and you buy gold and silver. At cost metals, that's where you can get physical silver and gold at cost. No markup. Referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. Do you think the gold and silver will ever catch up to the debt clock? Yes, I think it will go beyond what the debt clock shows. Gold and silver is money. BTC is a hedge in the world. Yep. Once it gets over 32.75 and holds, next stop is 40 this year. Awesome. Well, I've been telling people right now, I see silver hitting its all-time high in 2025. I like to under-promise, over-deliver. But I'm telling you right now, silver will break its all-time high in 2025. You want to make sure you get this asset. What's the website to buy silver? Atcostmetals.com. Atcostmetals.com. Enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. It is a membership, but it's a very cheap membership, and you'll make that money back in savings. Okay? It's well worth it. What did I just knock over? All right, so now let me see here. The gold window was suspended in 1970. Yep, 1971. They suspended the gold, the dollar convertibility and the gold. Our money's still at the state emergency as well as 93. I agree with you. Yeah, the problem is where's the gold? That's the question we really need to know is where is the gold? Is it in Fort Knox? Let me know. Do you guys think that the gold is in Fort Knox? Do you think that we have the gold? Because Fort Knox hasn't been audited. Where is the gold? Do we have it? Nobody knows. And why hasn't Fort Knox been audited? How about this? Why has the Federal Reserve not been audited? You understand that the Federal Reserve is a private banking cartel and they have never been audited? I'm telling you, if they ever audited the Federal Reserve, if the Federal Reserve ever got audited, there will be a revolution. The dollar will crash tomorrow. I will guarantee that. I'm telling you right now, if the Federal Reserve was ever audited by an independent third party, the dollar will crash tomorrow. The dollar will be burning in the streets. It'll be worthless. It'll be worthless if the Federal Reserve was ever audited. I'm telling you. But it will never happen. They will never audit the Federal Reserve. But it's okay because the dollar's already on an unsustainable path, and it's going to continue to decline. She said, "Nah, it's back in England." Oh, the gold. Yeah, I don't know where the gold is. It might be back in England. Because that's what the Federal Reserve was set up for. The redcoats. Let me say this part. The Revolutionary War. Okay, and I talked about this on the live stream before. The Revolutionary War was not fought over tea and taxes. You know, that's what they taught me in school, and they probably taught you the same thing in school. They probably showed you pictures of a boat and barrels of tea in the boat, and they showed you the barrels in the water, and they told you that the catalyst for the Revolutionary War was taxes on the tea. I'm telling you right now that it wasn't. Okay, it wasn't. The Revolutionary War was fought because, this is what Benjamin Franklin said. He said that the colonies would have gladly bore a little tax on the tea. They didn't care about the tax per se, but what the problem was is that they didn't have the ability to issue their own debt-free, interest-free notes. You see, they knew that by forcing the colonies to use the debt-bearing, interest-bearing currency that England controlled, that they will be enslaved through debt and they will be enslaved through interest. and that they're going right back to a system that they tried to free themselves from. So the Revolutionary War was fought because the colonies did not have the ability to create their own debt-free, interest-free notes. Look what happened to Lincoln and the greenbacks. Look what happened to Kennedy when he issued silver certificates. Kennedy, people don't even know this. And they don't even understand the importance of it. The importance of Executive Order 11110, where President Kennedy took the power away from the Federal Reserve and issued silver certificates. They don't understand this history and the significance of it, and they don't want you to understand that because they want to continue to confiscate your wealth through debt and taxes, confiscate your wealth through the next, 2008 financial crisis that happens every 10 years or so. It's a mechanism. It's designed to confiscate your wealth. So you're right. It might be in England. It probably is not in Fort Knox, though. I can tell you that much. This is potentially, let me see. Their excuses, they say it's complicated, LOL, to show their records. Yeah, bull, BS, okay? I don't want to hear it's complicated. We need transparency. They found Alexa in the safe. Yeah, facts. That's why the Secret Service. Yeah, they got rid of, it's a lot of history about why Kennedy got alive. Unless you're talking about, Lincoln. Agree, pirate papers. What's so funny Trump said there's nothing there. Oh, Trump said it? I didn't catch that. I wouldn't be surprised. Trump is bold enough to say something about that because it hasn't been audited. Nobody knows what's in in Fort Knox. Nobody knows. Right? So that's why it's important that, man, look, just dollar cost average, the best you can, because, a lot of people say you can't eat gold and silver and you can't eat Bitcoin or XRP or this and that and the third. But understand something. It will give you options because you might be able to use that money to leave the country if you need to, or, buy some land if you need to, buy something cheap, or buy the product or the good or the service from the farmer or whatever it is, if you don't have something to barter with. Because most people don't have anything to barter with in the first place. If shit hits the fan and you look around your house, what do you got to barter with? And if you live in the city, most people don't know how to grow their own food. They don't got no non-GMO seeds. I think everybody got guns and ammo, but I mean, they don't have, medical supplies. They don't know how to do, EMT type, when somebody gets hurt, taking care, people don't know how to do this stuff. You just want to diversify and, give yourself options. That's really what it's coming down to. You just want to give yourself options, and in regards to your money, it's a losing strategy to just hold on to dollars. Yes, skills and commodities, 100%. And this economy is going to come down. I hope you have some real friends. Okay. I hope you have some real skills. I hope you have some real resources. Okay. It's going to come down to the real, not this fake stuff. You don't want fake friends. You don't want fake family members. You don't want these fake people around you during these times. You want real people, real friends, real assets, real skills. Okay. If you don't have the skills, take a USB right now and go download those skills online. Go get the book. Okay. Some people say, I don't know how to farm. That's okay. At least have the information. If you need it, go get the books. Go get the USB. Download the information on the USB. Take it with you. Put it in a Faraday bag. Okay? Get the assets. The assets can help you hop on that boat. If you need to hop on a boat and something go down, they'll take your gold and silver. Why? Because gold and silver is money all around the world. Always will be. God's money. Constitutional money. Nobody questions the value of gold and silver ever. Okay? But they're questioning the value of that dollar. They're questioning the purchase power of that dollar. You never know. But this is how you get wealthy. You're going to get wealthy by having these assets. How about Iraqi dinars? Yeah, I know about the dinar, and I just don't deal with fiat. I really don't deal with fiat, but I do understand the arbitrage scenario with dinars and the value of the currency and you being able to get it now. I just haven't, I don't invest and participate in that manner. I just get into physical silver and I get in the blockchain and XRP. I'm not going to take away the value of that opportunity for people, but I just deal with gold and silver and XRP and blockchain. I think, that's the best way to hedge for me. And then, cash flow and streams of income. And it's not going to happen. What's not going to happen? You talking about the Iraqi thing? Yeah, I believe that because of some Cougarans. Yeah, what about Cougarans? Yeah, that's gold. Cougarans are good. Cougarans are good to have. I like Cougarans. They're not my favorite. I like Maple Leaves. Maple Leaves is my favorite. I love Canadian silver. Maple Leaves. Obviously American Eagles. The pandas. Love the Chinese pandas. Love the Chinese pandas. D, what's good, brother? I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all follow our brother D Nation. D Alder. And shout out to the Block Nation family. You know what I'm saying? The value that, these communities are putting out here is priceless, man, in these times. Because one thing is for sure is that the events are going to continue to take place. And the more people that sharing this information, helping people get in position, the better. The better. Let me see here. Yeah. Mexico. Yep. Mexico got silver mines. They're going to back their currency by the silver, by the peso. That's going to be coming. They were trying to do that before. Yeah, ain't no excuses not to get wealthy in this time right now. Ain't no excuses. He said this remind me of 2012. Yeah, what part though? I feel that. We were talking about that before. I was talking about that with somebody, and it's this cry wolf scenario. But one thing, if you look at 2012, or if you look at from 2008, we were $10 trillion in debt, and now we are over $35 trillion in debt. And Raphael, let me say this. I hear you saying the fear of collapse, right? But understand something, that the dollar has collapsed. Since the year 2000, the dollar has lost 78% of its purchasing power. Do you realize that since 1913, since the dollar's inception, it has lost 98% of its purchasing power? See, when people think about collapse, they're thinking about Mad Max tomorrow. Like this. When you hear that, like the Titanic sinking, you think the Titanic just sunk like this. No, it doesn't happen overnight. The collapse is a process, a consecutive process that accelerates over time. And so the collapse is happening. And right now we're reaching a point of no return, a point of critical mass in this collapsing process of this debt-based fiat monetary system. And there is a point where there is no return, right? And we're beyond that point. Debt is future savers. It doesn't matter. U.S. owns. Debt is future savers. What do you mean? Come on the live stream, brother. Come on the live stream. I see the invite. Let's get your opinion, because I think it adds to the dialogue. But here's the whole thing that you have to understand, that the debt is money. When they print dollars, they're creating debt, okay? And as they create more debt, not only is there interest tied to that debt, but the purchasing power of the dollars, the debt, what we call money that's in circulation, is continuing to lose purchasing power. So it is slowly collapsing, but it's an upward collapse, because what happens is that it doesn't collapse and everybody loses and it goes to zero. It's an upward collapse where the wealth is being confiscated through the devaluation of the currency and through the rigging and manipulation of the monetary system, and the wealth is being siphoned to the top. You see, so it's the few still profiting and capitalizing off of the many, and they've taken away the value of gold out of the monetary system. And that is what has allowed them to print and print and print, confiscate, devalue, and devalue more. And that's what people don't understand. Most people don't conceptualize it like that. When you hear the Federal Reserve and they say they're going to cut interest rates, and when you hear the federal government say we gave billions of dollars here and did billions of dollars there, people don't correlate it to debt, because the dollar is debt. There is no money in circulation. It's all debt. The more debt they add, the more interest. The more debt plus interest, the more purchasing power loss in the dollar. The more crises, the more bubbles that are created in the economy. A bubble is inevitable. The collapse of a bubble is inevitable. Now, where will the bubble be? And the Federal Reserve acknowledges this. We don't know what's the next thing to crash. We don't know if it's going to be real estate, manufacturing. You don't know exactly where it's going to be. But because of the mechanisms that are inherent in the system, there will be a bubble somewhere. And based on that bubble, there can be a contingent effect to other areas in the economy. And that creates a crash in the system, like we're seeing with the real estate crash in 2008. And what happens is these institutions work together because everybody's making so much damn money. You know, they're making so much debt, which is money, and they're buying products with it, right? And goods. But everybody's making money, and that's what happened in 2008. 2008 financial crisis, nobody cared. The rating agencies, they didn't care, and they're supposed to be like the middleman. They're supposed to evaluate something and say this is good or bad. Well, the rating agencies was corrupt. They said the bonds were AAA, and they weren't, and they knew it. But why did they go along with it? Because they were making money. Favor, promises, lies. Womanize, barter is a backer. It's just a game. It's rigged. Exactly. Now you see what I agree with you. It's a game and it's rigged. So don't play their game. Get out of the dollar. That's what the world is doing. The world no longer wants to play the debt-based, weaponized fiat monetary system game. And they want to get, and that's why they're buying more gold and silver than they have anytime period in history. That's why they're getting into blockchain and digital assets. That's why they're making bilateral trade agreements amongst their own currency. That's why Saudi Arabia did not renew the contract to only sell oil in dollars. People are waking up to the game of the central bank fiat Federal Reserve monetary system, and they're betting against the debt. They're de-dollarizing. They're buying gold, silver, blockchain, and crypto. Wealth is confiscated in our 401k over debt. Yes, that's how they're getting you right there. I agree with you 100%. Your money that's in your 401k and your pensions and all that, that's already levered up. It's not even there. And quite frankly, it's not there. This is an illusion. This is Wizard of Oz. We're at the point in the movie of Wizard of Oz where Toto went behind the curtain and he started messing with the man, and then they woke up, they walked back there and they realized that the Wizard of Oz was this little weak man, not this big man on the screen with all that smoke and thunder. But we're still in a shock and awe period right now. It's a shock and awe period, and people are waiting to see what's going to happen next. But as far as the emperor has no clothes, the system has already been exposed. People already, it's reaching critical mass. And, Kamala Harris, it's funny. It's funny how God worked, right? A lot of times the bad things that happen to you or the bad things that are happening is really a good thing because it exposes something. And if it exposes it and you are consciously aware of it and you address it, you can now provide the solution to it. So, it's funny, we'll say, how dare Kamala Harris save $750? How dare Joe Biden ask the American people to help out when they just gave billions of dollars to Ukraine? How dare, how dare, how dare? But yet, it's making people think and it's making people wake up. How is it that we got money for Ukraine, but we don't got money for the hurricane victims? You see what I'm saying? Now it's people question the monetary system, how we spend our money. How is it that Kamala Harris is going to go up there and say, we're going to give you $750 while they're giving thousands of dollars to the illegals who come across, how is it? So it's exposing them, which is making people think. It's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. It has to happen. It has to happen. Brainwash people into believing cash is king. Yeah, cash was king, Divine. Cash was king when it was backed by gold because God's money is king. Gold and silver is God's money. That's real money, always will be, always will be, always will be. Now, when a dollar was backed by gold, you can exchange your dollars for gold. So that's why they used to say that the dollar was as good as gold. They said cash is king back in the day. Now, today, absolutely not. Now, what I will say, though, is cash flow is king. I will say cash flow is king because you need cash. You need cash flow because if you only have gold and silver and digital assets, it's just a matter of time before you sell them because you need to maintain your standard of living. So cash flow is king, but the dollar is not king. The dollar was king when it was backed by gold, but the dollar is no longer backed by gold. The dollar is a liability, but you need cash flow. You need to save in silver and gold, and you need to get in blockchain and crypto. Go ahead, Aisha. What's going on? You gotta see your connection still look a little bad, but you were still doing pretty good when you was on before. Go ahead. You got something you want to add?
Yeah, I wanted to come in and say everybody should look up pirate papers. If you can learn about the Caribbean and what happened out there, you would actually be able to see the future. I know that sounds crazy, but you would literally be able to see the future because it's always in a circle. If you know the difference between a pirate and a privateer, then you'll be able to see how these fiat papers are being used to. I I like to say the Second Amendment is also the pen, and so it's about removing that pen. And if you can understand pirate papers and the history behind it, I can read one for you guys because it's crazy. Google's actually started hijacking that term, but it's a very historical term. And what would happen is a monarchy, a royal family or government would hire an individual. A famous one is Francis Drake, but a privateer was a pirate with papers. As the name suggests, they were private individuals commissioned by governments to carry out quasi-military activities. They would sail in private armed ships, rob merchant vessels, and pillage settlements belonging to rival countries. So if you can think, when it comes to exchange and money, and you're talking about how the currency is going down, it's because we've shifted to a new system, which was credit. What was that, back in 89? Can someone check me on my dates? Am I right?
Credit,
I don't even know. I think it was 89.
Yeah, credit based. I don't remember the exact date either, but go ahead. Keep going. The date is, we can get the date.
But yeah, so you had the wealth of the Caribbean. You had gold. You had the herbs, the fruit, all that stuff. And so they take that voyage out there to send it back to these colonies, and through that process, they would individuals that formed little gangs and their groups, and they would infiltrate those shipments. And so then, in counter reaction to that, those monarchies created pirate papers. So with that birth of that creation, I really believe that the cash system became pirate papers, especially in a situation like '08, when technically everyone should have been free from their notes and their mortgages after the government bailed them out. Because what happened was, and I noticed that, look, if you go to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is part of the Dodd-Frank Act of 2000, and Obama, I think, signed it off in 2010. But what happened was they placed that bureau there for consumers, for people like ourselves who go and buy houses and you go get a mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And you notice, if you read you can see it in their language, in their right. Mortgage fraud or bank fraud or insurance fraud being one-sided. It can only be committed by the consumer, whether in wickedness or ignorance, but they don't talk about the vice versa, which was actually the causation for that bubble. And why is that? I really believe it's because it was pirate papers, because people would have got letters saying, hey, the government bailed out your bank, therefore you don't owe this debt no more. They didn't say that. They went secret.
Right.
And I just want to put that out there. So, everybody do the search on pirate papers. But
yeah, no, I'm glad you added that value. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you, and people definitely follow Aisha. And the thing is like, when you were talking, Aisha, it made me think of economic hitmen. They send these economic hitmen in these countries to exploit these people for their resources and force the government to go along with whatever direction they want their country to see, or sell up their resources cheap. So yeah, it's like these pirates, like you were saying. And I have a, I don't know if I would call it a theory, but I would just say, like, to me, I always looked at it like the reason that we had credit was because they needed to create a buffer between the devaluing currency and the rise in assets. And because they took they were moving the dollar from the gold standard, they kept devaluing the currency, they needed a buffer in between, and they needed a reason to create more debt to enslave the people. So they created the credit. It's a mechanism of the of the collapsing of the system and that spread between the division in the purchasing power of the dollar and the who's that? Go ahead real quick. Go ahead. Who's this? Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Got any questions or comments?
No, I'm just listening in.
Wait.
Oh. Yeah, you can if you don't mind. I'm here though. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You got a question or comment, Mike? You said no. You just listening?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your question or your comment?
No, I'm just listening in. I'm just driving back from work.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to say something. No problem. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, Aisha, they appreciate that. Pirate papers, correct? I thought you were.
Yeah, you start with the hypothesis and you feed it with a theory, and I think you're really spot on that.
Yeah. It's that creation of the credit. They needed a reason to create more debt, and because they were devaluing the currency and they didn't have the gold to back it up and the assets. Because if you ever there's a book called Remember the Times, but essentially, and I probably have the photo in my catalog. I have to look through there and pull it up. But the houses, were thousands of dollars, like 10,000 or whatever, 30,000 back in the 60s. And obviously the same house now is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, and of course the wages were cheaper. The everything was different at that time, and then people they decreased the value of the currency. Assets continue to rise, and they know that mechanism was going to continue. So they have to create a buffer between that to allow people to allow the system to continue to grow and create debt. And so that's where they came up with the credit, because we just got to give people money now, because the money that they have, we're not going to increase their wages. We don't want to increase your wages. We just want to create a situation where we're going to be able to confiscate your wealth even more through debt and credit. So that was kind of what I was kind of trying to think about, how this whole thing got put into place. But I like what you were saying about the pirate papers, because that made me think about the Panama Papers and the Pandora Papers that got released. And I think that stuff came out around the time WikiLeaks information was coming out and all that, but just exposing the corruption in the financial system.
Yeah, and you're spot on. I didn't indulge too much in the Panama Papers because it just was kind of redundant, and it was so sad to see somebody lost their life to point out redundant information, and it felt horrible for me to feel that it was redundant information, the fact that woman died doing that research. But shell companies are a real thing, and it's very serious. And the thing was that with the birth of the credit system and the practice there, I'm an artist, and I like people buy my artwork, and I have collectors, and some of these collectors are high in government positions and stuff, and they'll tell you to your face, because they're dealing with some cognitive dissonance themselves, and that's what you're really staring at, is a lot of people with cognitive dissonance. They want to stop smoking, but they still pull that pack of cigarettes out of their pocket, and
Right.
And when the credit system was put in place, I really believe it was because when you're dealing with, I like to say I'm gonna jump around because it's just like overwhelming to try to spit it out sometimes. But it's like when you read the first page of the Constitution, where it says we believe all men were created equal. You're kind of staring at a situation of negotiation where someone never wanted to give you no push or pull. They didn't even want to give you one. You're going from 0 to 100. They didn't even want. But then they saw that you had immense amount of talent, immense amount of skill, immense amount of wealth, life, time, capital, human capital. High population, and so now they realize they gotta sit back at the table and say, you know what, we can't go with 0 because it's gonna kill us. So then they're like, all right, let's see if we can give 30, right? And so you're used to 0, so you're accepting the 30, and so then from there, you know, that 30, they're seeing them it flip to a 90 or a 9 or a 190. And so all of a sudden they're like, okay, this is too much, you know. Some people abandon people in a desert hoping they're going to dry out and die from thirst. But when they go back to that person they left in the desert and see they made an oasis, they spooked. They're highly spooked. So then they think so that whoever is left to compete with that will have a boost from the jump. I hope that makes sense.
No, yeah, no, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and the thing is when they sit down and they this is all they do while they got us thinking about paying bills and trying to make it day by day. They sit around and figure out how they can rig and manipulate, or how they can, put these scenarios in place, because the thing is they know what they're doing. They know where it's coming to. They know the end game. They know the result, and so they work on problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem. They know the problem. They know when the problem's going to come. They wait for you to respond, or they wait for the problem to show a reaction for you to respond, and then they already have a solution that they want to implement in place. Now, the problem that they're having right now is that the solution that they want to implement, we're not going for, and they can't control us. But it's like you're saying, the people are unaware, and you think that you're getting something and not realizing that you're really losing. But I like what you said about the oasis, because that's exactly what happened. They left us and they screw us, and then through our ingenuity and our God-given talents, we turn lemons into lemonade, and they realize that they can't stop us, they can't kill us, so they just like vampires. They want to suck on the lifeblood of our economic power and equity, and that's the system that they've created. But that system is being exposed, and it's coming to an end, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And we're living in the most significant time period in history. Right now, we're living in one of the most significant time periods ever, and it's amazing to be alive and document and watch this take place in real time. Yeah, the Hegelian dialectic.
And there's going to be immense, and I'm very hopeful through that. I'm very hopeful, and I want to use a stronger word than hopeful, but I'm very confident that there's going to be a positive future, because there is a spirit throughout all of this. When you talk about money, you're talking about emotions here and mental, and I do see positive signs that we're getting towards that. Because listen, it blows my mind sometimes, because sometimes I'll be in these these mountain areas and stuff, and some of the folks will talk about, these globalists, and they say it in a negative light, and the reality is that we've been in a been in a global market for a very long time. And, just some people just not aware of where their stuff comes from. Luckily, I was blessed with a father that would have me and my siblings every Christmas or birthday look at our toys and see where our toys were coming from. And we saw the trends, you would see a lot of toys being made in USA, and then I think it was around 99 or 2000, you started seeing made in China. Became like 90% of your toys, and through that, we're aware. We just simply need to get rid of the discrimination through the credit process, and that would literally make America healthy and make America be top in the manufacturing competition that is global. And we've been scoring 4th place behind China, Mexico. I'm getting a brain fart for the other two. Canada, I think. No. But I don't know. You can't quote me on the other two. But I know we were 4th place last time through the Sputnik and all the other research intelligence agencies under manufacturing.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that the truth be told is that the American ingenuity and the people here in America, our innovation, our genius, our work ethic, our community, we could turn this over overnight. But what happened is that we have the government and we have these institutions that have been dumbing us down, that have created, this situation where we're not operating at our maximum capacity as a people and as a nation. But that is going to turn. So this conversation, and when people talk, it seems like, we're saying that America's done. But understand what America is. America is the people. And the government gets its consent from the people. But what happened is that our government has been co-opted. And now we have, people in positions of power that are working against the interests of the people in this country. But our wealth, our ingenuity, our work ethic, our genius is still here. But we need to be under proper leadership. We need to overhaul the education system. We need to overhaul our healthcare system. We need to overhaul the agricultural, and the monetary system, and we'll be easily number one again. We still are. America is still number one. And it seemed like this whole time we're like, oh, the downfall of America. No, but there's layers to this, because you're talking about the institutions and the government, and then we're actually talking about the people. But us as the people, we're still the best on the planet, the best and the brightest, in my opinion.
Amen.
But as the institutions and the government and corporations and things, that's the problem. That position of power that has over the people that we instituted for our benefit has been corrupted and co-opted against. But exactly. That's been exposed, and once we get that power back. Disguise. We're in Star Wars. Jetson era. It's. But we've been held back. We've been held back.
Yeah, you got a few rotten apples, and the process in that is to grab them and throw them out, and it's to do it swiftly, and it needs to be done before 2025. I mean, this is no joke. I honestly, when I start watching politics, I get really excited because I just want to jump through the screen and just start. but currency is backed by faith. That's why they put "in God we trust." And I see some of these notes you put out of there, because I realized even that was incentivizing people to do the most and get the best out of it. And we just got to keep that in our minds and our hearts, because it's like, we got people in cities that don't have skills and stuff, but there are people out here who have talent and skills that have no problem helping their brother and sister. But when it comes to the crypto, like when the crypto thing happened, I remember what's that one famous lady that was on Forbes, Kathy Woods, whatever. She was talking about cryptocurrency becoming $500,000. I thought that was the craziest thing I ever seen. I was like, this lady, and and I knew it was gonna drop. I knew it was gonna drop because the trend that everybody was saying is, oh, the government's not gonna see it. The government's not gonna see it. And I was like, yo, don't you see? This is exactly what they're hoping. They're hoping that you guys are. Everybody needs to read White Man's Burden. That's a pun. Noble. In the day when these new instruments were being created, and you gotta understand, people are seeing the general public as half child, half demon. So they're gonna put things in place, and they're gonna entice it on this kind of low frequency type of thing. But if you stay high frequency, you can switch it, and you can positively hijack it and utilize it the way you want to. And so, cryptocurrency, I think, is going to become it is being a thing. It will be here, but we just can't allow the privateers and these people who've been running since 1865 to keep having their foot in it.
Yeah. No, I think the technology and everything is here for our benefit. And but it's just like anything. If you have wicked people that are using it for their own interest, then it becomes a negative. But if you have good people using it for your own interest, then it becomes a positive. So a lot of the technologies and things that were created, these scientists, Nikola Tesla, and all these other people, they had a lot of things that they want to bring forth, but they realized if this ever got in the hands of the wrong people, that it could be horrible for humanity. But I think that the AI and the technological revolution, all this stuff is here to aid humanity. Because the fact is, we don't have to toil. We should not have to do physical and manual labor. We have the genius enough to put systems and processes in place to where we should be, able to just enjoy life, enjoy the earth, enjoy our living experience. Everything right now could be automated through robots and AI and blockchain and smart contracts. And everybody in the world, people shouldn't have to work. You see, and we should be on a whole other level, but we have these corporations and entities. It's just like the union strike. The ILA during this strike is exposed that these companies were making like $400 billion in profit. Profit after expenses and everything is paid, they're making $400 billion in profit. You understand what I'm saying? So there's so much money. So much money.
Sorry.
What'd you say?
I think that's a lot of steak and lobster right there.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the whole point that I was kind of getting at, somebody said we lost them. The whole point is that AI, robotics, and technology is here to aid the people. You know what I mean? And it's supposed to lessen our load. And what really should be happening, that's why they got rid of pensions, right? So people used to work for companies and they'll work their whole life and they will get paid until they die. They got rid of pensions. The companies, they got greedy. These corporations and institutions, they want to continue to exploit the people. But as a company make more profits, as a company got more efficient, they should take care of their workers. Those workers who've been there for a long time, they should give them more money. They should pay money. They should pay their descendants because they were there to help their company grow. And because they bought on a robot and that robot is less expensive than a person, they should be using that money to help people. But they're using it to help themselves. And that's the problem. That's the corruption.
Yeah, because a robot's not going to buy a burger.
But some things the AI can't accomplish. Yeah, no, the AI, I'm just saying wherever the AI and the robotics, the automation, the blockchain, the smart contracts, when this frees up human labor, like people don't have to work in the stores because we got self-checkouts. Well, those people who work for that company, they shouldn't get laid off. They should now get income for life because the company has made so much profit now because of the AI. The AI doesn't have family. The AI doesn't have expenses. You don't got to pay the AI. So that means the company made profits where they replaced the person. That person that replaced, they should be getting paid. They work there. They help get the company to where they are. Go ahead.
Right, because that research was done while a lot of people don't know, but it's like while you're working at Walmart and they're telling you how to check out items and they're telling you which items to grab and which, Publix, they're teaching people put frozen items in one bag and stuff like that. They don't even know that, they're being recorded. Their timing is being recorded. How long does it take them to process 52 items at Publix? You get what I'm saying? So then all that data is getting transferred into a data set, and that data set is being used to apply into these programs that become what they call AI. And so it is part of the development. I mean, the worker is part of the development of the robot. So they should have shares. Just like, back in the day, you used to be able to get CD or a program, and now they do subscriptions. So there really is no excuse. It's easy to just roll it in. Very easy.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Somebody said it came out. It's greed because the ability to actually do it is very possible. But like you said, the corporations got rid of pensions. They figured out ways to pay employees less because the CEOs, they want big fat bonuses. Because the stockholders, they look out for their stockholders. That's why you don't want to deal with banks. You're better off dealing with credit unions because credit unions are going to look out for their members, as where banks look out for their shareholders. And so that's why, you're better off with a credit union than you are with a bank. But, they all operate obviously under the same system. But I think that, that's really how it should be. People who work in these jobs that got replaced for AI and robotics, they should get paid for life, like a pension. Their family should get paid because those corporations are going to continue to make money. It's less money on the books. But yes, it's because of greed, but it could be done. It could be done. Those companies partner with data centers. Yeah, that's what you're talking about, data centers like Salesforce. Yeah, they get all that data. And so a human person had to do physical work to input, to create that data. Now that person who did that labor to provide that data, that person's now laid off because it got replaced by AI, and it would be nothing for that company to give them a stipend, some type of income every month. And they don't have to become multimillionaires from it, but you don't fire the person and then give them and leave them with nothing. You see, when they can give them money, because they made a process more efficient.
And the thing is that people know the counter to greed, the counter competition. So when these people do these type of things and they become, enough people cry, the word gets spread in the community. While they put in, because I get emails from Miso. Miso is a flipping robot. They're gonna replace the fry maker and the burger flipper.
Yeah.
And the thing is funny is like, okay, you're gonna replace these people, but who gonna buy your hamburgers? Who gonna buy your hamburgers when they know you got robots? I went to a robot. Right, you like I went to a robot yogurt spot. It was a robot making my yogurt, and I never went back there. I tried it once because I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh, this is so cool in advance. Look at the future. And then I got the yogurt. It jipped me. It jipped me my yogurt. I said, I never come back here again. And it's like those type of experiences you see and you're like, yeah, this is not attractive. This is not something that a consumer is going to and those those things are not going to be consumers. So it's really quite silly. It really comes down to it all.
Silver is needed in all the solar panels. It's needed in photography. It's needed in satellites. It's needed in batteries, EV batteries, solid state batteries. And what we have here is that, so we could talk about the problem, all day, and I say this all the time, but then it's also being in position to take advantage of the solution, being able to get the asset that's going to benefit from all this that we're talking about. And so I put up this article showing that the industrial demand for silver will encompass the entire market, the supply. So the demand might consume the entire market in 2025 for silver. And we're talking about AI, we're talking about automation, we're talking about robotics, we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about technology. Well, silver being the most electrically conductive metal and all of its properties and being a massively undervalued asset, it's important that understands that people have the assets that benefit all these things that we're talking about that are aiding humanity, because this is part of the wealth transfer. So it's important that people, not only conceptualize this stuff and understand it, because you can say, I understand, but it's not knowledge that's power. It's applied knowledge that's power, right? So it's important that you apply this knowledge and understand the information and how it affects certain industries, so you can acquire the right assets to put you in position to create real generational wealth. Right. And so for those, and I'll say this, for those who want to get physical silver and gold, okay, go to atcostmetals.com, atcostmetals.com, and get it at cost. Referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces, atcostmetals.com. And if I think, Aisha, you said you do artwork, right? Definitely follow Aisha if you
No, that's right.
Yeah, what else do you do, Aisha? You got artwork. What else you got going on?
I'm a manufacturer too.
Okay.
So I'll be looking at your website too, because I do want to implement metals into my work. So you got me there. So the silver, gold, those type of metals. Lithium is an interesting one too.
Yep,
The
platinum.
lithium's kind of moving slower than I expected, but yeah,
Well, there's some
silver's been
information.
going crazy.
Yeah, silver's gonna go way crazy. It hasn't done nothing yet. It's gonna go way crazy. It's up 30% in the last year, and that's nothing. It's not even near its all-time high for real. And it's gonna go much higher. But yeah, platinum, these rare earth minerals, this is money. Gold and silver is money. You want to have it, and yeah, definitely join at Cost Metals. Enter my referral code Ricardo Hamilton. I'll be reaching out to everybody who signed up and created their account. I'll be helping them get set up. But it's important that people understand the role of these metals, even lithium. I know people are seeing information about the hurricane, and I think it was in Asheville, or I'm not sure where the hurricane exactly was, but there's a lithium mine over there. And I've been hearing a lot of this information is, they're trying to block this information about the resources over there and how these companies have been trying to exploit that area for those resources. And now all of a sudden we have this event that's taking place. And now there's obviously a land grab to try to be able to now mine for lithium and other things. But these rare earth minerals, these base metals, okay, you want to have them, especially physical silver.
So that site takes you to physical silver?
Yeah, so at cost metals is a company that will allow you to get silver and gold and platinum at cost. So there's no markup on the asset. So there's no company that has a better price than at cost metals. So they operate like Costco. It's a membership. It's a cheap membership. The membership pays for itself in savings. So you can get physical silver and gold or platinum delivered to your home, and you're going to get it at cost. You're not going to pay a markup on it. So you're just going to get it at the best price, which is going to allow you to save money and which is going to allow you to get more weight. Because, just like with crypto, it's about how much of a particular crypto you got. Well, just like with silver and gold, it's about, how many ounces you got, how much weight you actually have. So if you're able to save more money, you're able to get more metal, you're able to have more weight. So at cost metals is going to give it to you at the best price. And then, showing some support for me as an affiliate with that company, use referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces.
All right, I remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, the metals is definitely important.
Yes.
Yeah, the metals are definitely important. I'll definitely look into that.
Well, I tell people,
it's crazy. I was walking.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say is that back in the day, and it's so funny. I say back in the day, and it's not even that far back. It was like late 90s. There was still the cultural trend of your grandma wanting to buy a little sculpture of a hummingbird in silver, or a little silver plate, things like that. You go through these malls, some of the more luxury.
It's expensive.
There's just shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't even see them. You don't even see them there. You don't even see those same little trinkets. They're now.
It's expensive. It's real money.
They're more watered down now.
You gotta go to the jewelry store for that.
Yeah.
What I will say too is that so the reason you want to have silver, especially silver and gold, but especially silver, is because it's how you save your money. So if you either have an emergency fund, you have your savings and you have your investments, right? So your emergency fund is obviously in cash. You need to be able to put your hands on some cash, at any time, 24/7. That's your emergency fund. That's in cash. Your savings is in physical silver and gold, okay? Because that's how you save your money and have it grow for you without exposing it to risk, because nobody wants to put their savings up for risk. Nobody wants to risk their life savings. So you don't want to have your life savings or your savings in general tied to the market where there's risk of loss in investment, right? So blockchain and stocks are not savings to me. Investments, they are. So you invest your money because you can get a greater return because you're being exposed to some risk. Your investments are in blockchain and crypto, but your savings, where you don't want to be exposed to risk, you don't want any third-party counter risk, you want to preserve the purchasing power of your money and have your money grow for you. You do that with physical silver and gold, especially physical silver, being the most undervalued physical asset on the planet. And so if you're going to get silver and gold,
Right.
just get it at cost and get it at the best price.
Yeah, because if anyone's watching the news right now, or even just scrolling through TikTok, I think there was a young entrepreneur at 12 years old who was a victim of theft by Wells Fargo. I was also a victim of Wells Fargo. There was some victims. There was a woman from Georgia, a white woman from Georgia. I can't remember who she was banking with. I think it was Bank of America that stole about $30,000 straight out of her bank account, her savings, or it was even more than I think she got back 30,000, but they stole about 100,000, something like that, and they pretty much couldn't they were struggling to get her savings back. So, you know, you got banks doing funny stuff like that. And when it comes through the process of getting that money back, you're going through very long litigation. I mean, brutal litigation. So silver, gold is definitely looking good when it comes to secure stuff, because you know it's getting back to like, you know, no middleman type attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like what we say in crypto.
Yeah.
We say in crypto, we say not your keys, not your crypto, right? And in precious metals with silver and gold, we say if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And so that's the thing about, like you said, people had their money in the bank, and you go log into your bank and you see zeros. You never had the money. It was never your money in the first place. And actually, it was never money. It was debt. Now, here, when you have silver and gold, you have it in your physical possession. Nobody can take it from you. Gold and silver will never go to zero. There is no third-party counter risk, right? So that's why he said you save your money in physical silver and gold. You know, I have a community of people, and we have people that have saved more money in their life in silver than they've ever saved in dollars. You know, and this is what people don't understand, that silver over the last year did 30%. Because of what's going on, but over the last 20 years, silver has done about 14%. Over the last 20 years, gold has did about 10%. And over the last 20 years, the S&P has did about 10% as well. Now, gold and silver, there's no third-party counter risk. You know, it's the way you hedge. It preserves purchase power. It's money. Now, people have their money tied to the S&P, and yeah, you're getting 8 to 10%, but you're still exposed to risk. Nobody knows when the next shoe will drop in the next market crash. You know, all those risks and dynamics of leaving your money in the market. So that's why I say you invest your money, but you save your money in silver and gold. Yeah, silver and gold is just a hedge against inflation. Yes, silver and gold is a hedge against inflation, and silver and gold right now are beating the S&P 500 over the last 20 years in regards to gains, without exposing you to risk, because gold is a tier 1 asset according to the Bank of International Settlements, which a tier 1 asset has zero risk associated to it. You know, and this is what people don't know. And this is why sometimes I'll get these financial advisors and these stock people on here, and they think they know so much because they've been indoctrinated and they have benefited from the corrupt system for so long that they don't realize the alternative and the other side of it. But the truth is that precious metals are a better way to actually. And the other side of it. But we got echo. Hey, Danielle, how you doing? Good to see you. Got any questions or comments? How you doing? You got mute. You got feedback too. Right? There's some feedback. I think it's how you say your name. You got question or comment? I invite you up. I see you on there. Danielle. I don't know. Mortgage broker. I think it's being suggested that it's the best hedge. Yeah, it is the best hedge. Yeah, tell the M.I.M.S. Yep. M.I.M.S want the smoke for the haters today. Yeah, those people get on here sometime, man, and they don't know, you know, because they know that they know what the S&P does. They know what the stock market does, but most of them don't know that gold and silver have essentially outpaced the S&P 500 over the last 20 years. And they also don't consider that market crashes happen every 10 years or so, and just like 2008, people whose retirement accounts, their 401ks, are tied to the market, they'll lose 50-80% of their retirement, you know, at the worst time, because they don't know when the crash is coming, and when they're trying to sell, there are no buyers. But when we have economic crises, it's gold and silver that do very well, that are a hedge. And even right now, and like I said, in the last 20 years, if you're saving your money and you're getting, you know, 10 to 14% per year over the last 20 years, and you didn't have to expose it to the risk in the market, that's a very wise and beautiful thing.
And can I say this last part? And I thank you so much for all this.
Yeah.
I want to say this last part. These stock people also, well, they know, but they don't want to say it. that a lot of the stock purchases are also done by credit as well, and nobody talks about that. There's fake money in the stock market, heavy.
Oh yeah, yeah, naked short selling.
Your time.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. They're doing naked short selling and everything else. This is a rigged and manipulated economy. There's no real price discovery for assets. The dollar, the Federal Reserve is the buyer and seller of last resort. The Federal Reserve is making, creating value from nothing, getting in here, manipulating the market, cutting interest rates. If the economy was a free market economy, the Federal Reserve would not have to step in here. If the economy was fine, as they like us to believe, the Federal Reserve will not have to step in here with emergency monetary policy. So the economy is not well. And then what happens is that as they rig and manipulate the markets and create value from nothing, devaluing the currency, the banks buy back their stocks. They have the ability to, money is cheap now. So they're borrowing at cheaper interest rates. So they made it cheaper to borrow money. And the banks and these institutions, and even the Federal Reserve, are buying stock. They're buying assets. They're propping up the market where a natural correction would have took place. And the reason they're doing that is because these CEOs, they get paid in stock. Their bonuses at the end of the year are based on the stock. And if their stock is up, the stockholders are. So people don't understand it's a Ponzi, it's a bubble, it's unsustainable. And this is why you want to hedge with real money. You want to be decentralized.
Right. I witnessed this as a kid, and it was terrible. These people going between floors, they go between floors. You might be dealing with BlackRock might be on floor 24, and Bank of America be on the first floor. So they just going from floor to floor. So if they need more liquidity in their stock price, they could just go down to the floor 1 and ask Bank of America for some more liquidity, and then go deposit it before 5 p.m.
Yeah, Bank of America just
that's reality right there.
Yeah, I think Bank of America just tapped into the Federal Reserve's emergency liquidity faucet. I forget what it is. I don't know if it's the repo market. I don't know if it's repo or if it's the discount window or something. But they just get money when they need it under crisis scenario. But that's what we're in. We're in a crisis. This is a crisis to crisis economy. That's what we're in. But yeah, they just get money and it's all rigged and manipulated. And it's worse than we even realize. Everything that we've talked about, it's magnitudes worse. It's magnitudes worse. They've been lying and rigging this whole thing for decades. It's so levered up. It's really bad. And that's why there's going to be a massive wealth transfer, because it will correct. It will collapse. It is collapsing. And those who have real money, physical silver and gold, and digital assets, those are the new 1%. Those are the people that are going to do very well. But those who are believing that, nothing is going on and everything is fine, those are the people that are going to get wiped out.
Yeah, so everybody gets your deeds, your titles, get your land. Don't get no 100 by 100 square foot lot and some HOA. Get a lot, some real land. Get your silver, your gold, hide it. We're only maybe your mama know, and your daughter, your sons know. And God bless and more power to you. I gotta leave, go pick up somebody, but God bless you, okay?
Yeah, God
Much
bless.
love.
I appreciate you. You added so much value to the stream. Make sure everybody follow and support that sister. And I definitely will be live again later as well. I'm getting ready to close down this stream. I've been on for about a few hours now. And like I said, I'm in Dallas right now. I'm in Dallas, Texas for the At Cost Metals event. Okay, this company is launching it's going to be the biggest precious metals company on the planet, because they're allowing people to get physical silver and gold at cost, no markup. But they also create a dynamic where you could be an affiliate and create some passive income in the process. Literally, I've been living off of gold and silver for the last few years now. I've created a lifestyle from opportunities like this where we're getting assets, we get real money, and we create cash flow in the process. So if you want to get silver and gold and you want to get it at cost, you don't want to overpay for it, you want to save some money, go to atcostmetals.com, www.atcostmetals.com. Enter referral code Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces, Ricardo Hamilton, no spaces. And with that being said, if there aren't any more questions, any more comments, if there's anybody else that want to come up, I gotta catch you guys on the next live stream. I might live some of the event tonight. I think tonight is a meet and greet from like 5 to 8. But Saturday, tomorrow, is the actual event at Cost Metals, the live event. I'll be one of the speakers, as well as my partner, Mike Tharp. And we'll have some other speakers as well. So I probably might live stream some of the event that we have tomorrow. But with that being said, this is, it's Ricardo. Let me put in the chat. Ricardo Hamilton, RICARDO Hamilton. And the website is @costmetals.com, www.atcostmetals.com. Referral code Ricardo Hamilton, RICARDO Hamilton. That's me, also known as MIMS. Make it make sense. Yeah, you good, brother. Okay, cool. With that being said, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next live stream. Everybody who created an account with @costmetals, I will notice that you created an account, and I'll be giving you a call within the week if you need help getting set up your account, or you got any questions at all. Divine, I appreciate all the love, all the roses, all the gifts. Congratulations to you and your family and your wealth building. And I'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Ricardo Hamilton, Crypto Rick, MIMS, make it make sense. Be safe, be blessed. I'm out. Peace.